hello, and welcome to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of this ragtag group of heroes and adventurers.
Hi everybody, I'm Claire. I'm playing Mira, who's a Dragonborn Sorcerer, half red dragon, half silver dragon. Originally was a bit of a politician, and now has joined the adventuring life, probably to a greater extent than she ever expected.
Hi everyone, I'm Michael. I'm playing Lockie, a Warforged Artificer. Originally was part of a flying castle, but I've since left and resumed an adventure with my now friends.
Cool. Hey guys, I'm Jared, and I play the character of Jin. He is a level 6 Law Bard and a level 2 Hexblade Warlock. I'm currently an associate and ally of the Tempest Guild, and I am helping them in their goal of stopping the Queen of Dragons, Tiamat.
Hi, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Lyra, the Moon Druid, who has previously been stuck in a gemstone for the past 600 years, but has since escaped.
Hi guys, I'm Matt, playing Yervith, the sneaky Wood Elf Ranger and Rogue, who, after a tragic incident in the jungle with his previous expedition, has now joined up with this lovely ragtag group of adventurers and is looking to see what happens next.
Hello everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. There's a bit of a delay on the hello because there was a bit of a pause in the stream when my Streamlabs stopped working for 2 seconds and I wasn't sure if we'd come across, but we have. We're here. Hello. Hello. Everyone wait, say hello. Oh, goodness me. Now, tonight we have almost the full party. Jared obviously didn't join us last week, so welcome back, Jared. But unfortunately, he's become a bit of a trendsetter because Matt is not joining us tonight. So for those of you who are watching us live and watching on YouTube, you'll see Matt's face. It's just the grayed out version directly below me. For podcast listeners, you won't hear the sweet dulcet tones of Yervith in tonight's session. I will take control of Yervith for the session. Matt has given me some instructions, and we've had a bit of a chat about what Yervith will be up to. So Yervith will be doing some things. I won't say any more than that. Thank you everybody who joined us for Avatar: The Last Airbender last night. It was a really fun session exploring the library of Wan Shi Tong, he who knows 10,000 things. We had a lot of fun with the party having to deal with the sudden arrival of several Fire Nation soldiers led by a Fire Nation priest attempting to gain access to the library, and I think for the most part they handled it really, really well. They did a really good job of preventing things, and we did our very first level up in Avatar: The Last Airbender, which works very differently to D&D level ups. I think we've kind of got the hang of it. We're getting a bit of the hang of the system now. We've got 6 episodes under our belt, so we're looking forward to playing a bit more of that, getting a bit more used to it. So we'll definitely be doing some more of the Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'd love to do, potentially if we've got time, a Christmas or New Year's special with you guys trying out the Avatar: The Last Airbender. However, it's going to be really tricky because I know Claire and Michael are away as of next week.
Yes.
So we'll figure something out about that. But don't worry, everybody. We're not going anywhere. We are going to be back next week. We have 2 guest characters joining us next week. I can't tell you the names of the characters, but I can tell you the names of the players. Jacob and Tom are going to be joining us. Tom will be playing a Goliath Barbarian, and Jacob will be playing a Warforged Cleric. And I'm looking forward to introducing their characters. I've got about 3 different options I've come up with. All depends on what shenanigans these guys get up to tonight, which one I go with. Or none of the above. I have to make up a whole new thing at the end of this session, so we'll see how that goes. I haven't spoken to Claire and Michael about how we're going to get their characters exiting, but I am actually going to do it as part of this stream. I've had a really good idea. Let's see how we go.
See how we go with it. Off the boat?
I mean, I can't do that. I'm just the narrator. It's not up to me. But I have paid Jared $50 to just. Leading into Dungeons and Dragons, I should say we have a little bit of a change for those of you who are looking on the D&D Beyond interactive overlay. If you're watching us live, you'll see there's the interactive overlay. You'll notice that Lockie's character sheet has changed ever so slightly since last session. We ended last session with a bit of a cliffhanger, the discovery that Lockie was not in fact a Warforged, but a Giant Forged, which is now a sub-race of the Warforged group, which I've put up on D&D Beyond, so it's in the homebrew section of D&D Beyond if you guys wanted to play it or have a go with it. Lockie is going to be playing as the Giant Forged tonight. There's a couple of different changes that we've put in place for that, so we're going to look out for those tonight. Lockie, if you do get a chance to use any of those features, just before you guys leave on holiday and your character disappears for like 3 sessions, please feel free. I'll be very encouraging of any of the features you want to use tonight. Mind of Metal or Legacy of the Giants. If you want to use any of those features, chuck them out, let's see them. But I think that's enough behind the scenes. We should probably jump into D&D, hey? Let's do a quick recap for those of you who are still catching up. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a group of mercenaries, explorers, and adventurers, has been working to thwart the machinations of a group known as the Order of the Dragon. This cult has been amassing power, wealth, and knowledge in an attempt to perform a ritual which would bring a dark, draconic god, Tiamat, into the world. Our story has been following the escapades of some of the members of this group, Mira, Jin, Lockie, Yervith, and the newly transformed Shana, who are now journeying further north to try and track down an ancient artifact used to summon dragons to the Order's side, an artifact known as the Drakhorn. Having learned many dark secrets during their time in the Noonian jungle, the party have managed to capture Varum, one of the leaders of the cult who sadly seems to have lost both his mask of power and his mind. Flying across the ocean towards the Sea of Moving Ice, a vast expanse of ever-shifting sea ice and icebergs, the party have stopped for a rest in the floating city of Drifthaven, and are currently being shown the sights and sounds of the city by Batara, a half-orc sailor they encountered on the docks. After spending some time sharing stories in a tavern, the group travelled to the core of Drifthaven, a large 12-sided sapphire which provides protection and magic to the city of Drifthaven. Speaking with Tinker, the Warforged caretaker of the gem, the group learnt that this gemstone was giant-made, however may have been modified by Melora's magic at some point in the past. More startling, however, the group learnt that Lockie is not a Warforged, but in fact, a Giant Forged. And that is where we left off. Tinker having just spoken to you guys. Gone, I do not think that Lockie is a Warforged. I believe he is something of the Giant make. A Giant Forged, perhaps?
That is an interesting thought. I suppose it could be argued. I need to think about this. I need to look into this. This is fascinating. I must rewrite. Oh no.
Rewrite?
Some sub-processes. Don't worry about it.
That sounds like Michael talking.
I can't go around saying I'm a Warforged anymore.
Oh, right. Well, it makes kind of sense. I mean, you were in there for a very long time.
Yes. I suppose I was.
And
It all sort of just blurred together, I guess.
well, I mean, you and this contraption certainly have the same intricacies. Mira is still like fascinated by this elemental machinery thing.
Yeah, so the room you're in, just to give a bit of a recap for those who might not remember the room they're currently in, it's literally just this floor made of metal and wood with giant runes in the center and a pedestal. And floating above the pedestal is this 12-sided sapphire, perfectly carved, perfectly see-through, with this glowing center that occasionally you see rays of light sort of shooting out towards the edges of the gem and refracting around it. The walls are made of water, being held back in place by this gemstone, and there is a ladder heading up towards the top of the roof. It leads back up to the surface of the town. But at the moment, yeah, you guys are currently probably about 10-11 meters underneath the town, under the water. There are fish swimming all around, and because of the bioluminescent algae and crustaceans that live in and around the water, it's beautifully lit. It's not dark. It is not dingy. Despite it being the middle of the night, it is beautifully iridescent and luminescent. And you can see that there are artificial reefs that have been suspended from the town above, probably at like a depth of 5-6 meters or so, that have a multitude of coral and fish and kelp all growing across them. These are these artificial reefs that look like old boats or bits of wood that have been sunk deliberately and then attached to the bottom of the houses by these ropes that allow them to stay suspended permanently underneath the town, these coral reefs. It is beautiful, and everything's sort of cast, the algae is casting sort of greenish blue color everywhere. So everything has this sort of slight greenish blue tint to it.
Mm. Yeah.
Can I have a look at this rune that I was compelled to pick up?
Yeah. So as you look down at the rune, Lockie, a symbol you don't really recognize immediately. It's a series of swirling patterns that seem to coalesce on themselves. And at first glance, it looks like it is symmetrical. But the more you look at it, the more you start to realize that there are subtle differences with each rotation of the spirals. And rather than being like actual curves, they're actually kind of jagged edges, just very, very close together. So it resembles curves from a distance. They're very isometric in shape. It's a very strange symbol, and not one you recognize at all. It has the resemblance of giant runes, but it's no rune you've ever seen or encountered before.
So you say it has jagged edges and things like that. Would it be conceivable that I could maybe manipulate it with some of the actual gearage in my
I mean, you could. It's just made of stone. You could carve over this symbol on the stone at any point. Yeah.
I don't want to carve over it. It's more like how big is it? So about yay big.
Yeah, about yay big. For podcast listeners, about 30 centimeters in diameter.
Yeah. Yes. So, would it be possible to sort of find a spot, maybe in his torso or something along those lines, where it would fit, and maybe I'm not going to try and like grind it or break it or push terribly hard, but at like a spot in the torso where perhaps the gears would be able to interact with it and just maybe like gently rotate it?
Oh. Okay, yeah. You might have to spend a little bit of time modifying the surface of it, the surface to make it fit in with your current existing cogwork, but yeah, it wouldn't be too hard. You could do it on a short rest or a long rest. You could have the time and just smooth out these edges so that it does actually work as a gear. Yes, you absolutely could. Yes.
Cool.
Very good idea.
I'll look at that.
Well, do you think that this giant technology might, I don't know, come in useful, Lockie? That's kind of why we is interested in this.
Well, I mean, it's about elemental control and elemental sort of, magics. So there are absolutely points where it could be useful. Actually, if you're going to think about it, there's actually even a crossover with some of the dragons. I mean, them being representations of elemental power and energy. I mean, if we needed to perhaps form some sort of field to counter dragon breath or dragon fire or ice or something along those lines, I mean, I believe there's a possibility that giant magic is a way through into that realm.
Yes, it's interesting you bring that up, Lockie. It's one of the things I have been working on in my own spare time. I do believe that the elemental magic of the giants is along the same lines as the elemental magic of the dragons.
Really? Is there a form or a correlation between the two, or was it divergent exploration?
I believe it's the same source, the elemental energy. The giants, the difference there was the use of runes to harness and focus the magic, whereas dragons is much more raw and chaotic.
Hey, that's a little bit different than you and me, Mira.
What do you mean?
Well, you're a sorcerer, are you not? You instinctually have control from your magics, right?
Yes.
Whereas my
control, right?
my magic comes more from, as you say, from the manipulation of a physical effect. This gives me an idea for a ship, as a matter of fact.
Batara sort of walks over to Jin and Shana at this point and goes, they're all talking magic stuff. Is this something you understand? I don't really know much about magic.
Too old to like.
I can't hear you for some reason,
Wait.
Ollie. What's going on?
Am I there?
Oh no, sorry, Jin, you're not there
No,
currently. You're
Jin's
disguised
not
as
there.
Hobby Bid. Sorry,
I'll pretend to be
I'm
good.
waiting to hear what happened to him, by the way.
Yes. Just really quickly, Ali, for some reason I can't hear you. Can you guys hear Ali?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, I can't hear her.
Ali, double check. You've got NVIDIA Broadcaster. I'm going to say it's NVIDIA Broadcaster has dicked you once again. Yeah.
Silent rage.
But it's crazy because you works for the sound check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Hey, she's back. All right.
I can
Tell
hear
you what then.
you.
Let's really quickly.
hello there.
Hello there.
Yeah.
We'll quickly
Hello
do this
there.
bit where Batara's talking to Shana, and then we're going to jump to Jin, and we'll go do Jin's adventures of what Jin experienced when he was missing from the session. How about that? I completely... Sorry, I had it written down to do that, and I completely forgot. I want to do Jin's experience.
man, I
it's
didn't
pretty
mind.
fun.
Oh man,
Yeah,
he's
Shana.
he's a gambler. He's just gonna be gambling and stuff.
Prepare to be rolling a
Yeah.
carousing check, please. Just a
That's
heads up.
fine.
Yeah, Shana. Batara comes over and sort of gives you a bit of a nudge, and to Yervith as well. This sort of magic stuff, is that something you understand? Not my specialty.
I mean, I get the magic stuff, but this is giant magic. It's way beyond anything I understand, or probably
Yeah.
I hope could do. Could?
I always used to think to myself, like, how great was giant magic if they all just, like, disappeared one day? Or maybe it was so great that they all disappeared one day.
Maybe they went somewhere better, like they went, they totally opened up a cool-ass door and they found a spot that was just like, oh, hey, screw this plane, we're all going to our party plane over here.
Yervith looks over and goes, perhaps my rope trick will give me access to some party plane. That sounds great. I wouldn't mind accessing a party plane. Maybe that's a spell I can learn. Once I've learned Thorn Whip and mastered magic, I can...
Ouch.
Minecraft.
He's not here to defend himself, so... Tinker sort of goes, very nice of you to come and visit. Are you staying in town long?
Just the day or two, I think. I'm not entirely sure on how long. I guess it depends on the others, really. Yeah.
I think that we want to head out fairly soon, especially with these stories about the dragons that we've heard flying overhead. That sounds like, well, we've got a lead, and I just wish we had some sort of advantage going in there. And I don't know, Mira kind of looks kind of desperately at this magical thing she doesn't understand.
It's giant
That's also
12-sided
true.
sapphire.
We're probably
Yes.
thinking about leaving soon, but I mean, we can't live without Jin or Swabby Seabeard.
Oh yes, actually, oh my gosh, you're right. We need to go and. Actually,
Where is he? Anyhow?
where is he
Oh.
anyway?
Jin, who's Jin? You talk about Swabby Seabeard, that sort of like hairy, greasy man with a peg
Yes,
leg.
yes, you're right. Jin's just a
Amazing,
nickname
yeah.
because he likes to drink a lot of gin.
Nice, good save.
Right, well that makes sense, I guess. I had a friend who was called Rum Dum. He liked rum and he was dumb, so...
That's
Fair enough.
Yeah, alright, well, tell you what, if we want to go out and try and find him, maybe it's worth having a bit of a look around, see if we can locate him. Thanks, Tinker, for your time. I think I'm not quite due to have my blades updated for quite some time for the gems. Do you want to... Have you scheduled it in? When am I supposed to be back? You have 13 days and 4 months before you need to recharge your gemstones. Right, okay, great, well, I'll see you then. Oh, goodbye.
Farewell, Tinker. It has been a rare pleasure meeting you.
Farewell, Lockie. It has been likewise. It is nice to speak with someone who follows logic in such a precise way.
Absolutely. There's a lot of sloppy
Indubitably.
logic around. Goodbye.
And yeah, with that, Batara starts walking back towards the thing. You notice, as you guys leave, you notice that Tinker heads back over towards the large gemstone. Just places his hand upon it, and you see the lights in his eyes dim for a few seconds, and then come back on again as he takes his hand off. Sort of cocks his head a little bit puzzled, and then sits back down again. Takes this sort of meditative pose that you suspect is probably his like powered down state when he's just observing. But yeah, as you guys walk up and reach the top of the platform, the central town square, where the core is located, you hear a large commotion coming from over towards the east of where you guys are currently located. As you begin heading down one of the larger gangways, Michael's face begins to melt. What is happening to your camera?
What?
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh my lord.
Oh
I'm
my
just
goodness.
going to
Oh my
refresh. Just refresh that. We'll just refresh his camera. Now, for podcast listeners, I imagine that's what bad acid trips look like. We've got that fixed now. He's back. Yeah, as you guys begin heading down the gangway that leads over towards the western part of the the open area of Drifthaven, the open town area, which is sort of dominated by shops, cafes, small businesses. The residential areas are the next sort of circle out. You see a large barge made of wood with a large steam engine attached to the back of it that has wedged itself on a section of wood. And hanging by his pantaloons from the prow, from the figurehead, is Swabby Seabeard. Swabby, we're going to jump back in time about 4 hours to explain how you got to this stage.
Yes.
Am I intoxicated? Was I intoxicated?
I think it goes without saying that Swabby Seabeard is shit-faced, or swab-faced would probably be how you would
What is
say
it? What is it called? The seaweed or something?
The seaweed. It's kelp. The kelp that they consume.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Swabby, as these guys were approaching the bar, you kind of paused a bit, noticing a group of quite inebriated and intoxicated sailors talking quite loudly about some freaks in masks. None of the others seemed to hear this, but you did hear it, and you thought to yourself, oh, could be an interesting lead. So you, in your Swabby Seabeard voice, went, I'll just be checking out what these sailors are saying. Go on ahead, and I'll catch up with you later. And they headed on into the tavern, and you went down and jumped on the back of this barge, moving quite sprightly with your wooden peg leg, and jumped onto this barge. The sailors, as you jump on, go, hey, what are you doing here?
Okay, so to paint the picture for me, we're back in time, everyone's walked off, I've jumped on the back of this ship.
Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right, and I heard the sailors talking about
You heard
people wearing masks.
Specifically, you heard one of the sailors go, what about those freaks in masks, eh? What the fuck were they here for?
Okay.
In your mind, you were
Let's
like...
not jump straight to that. So they're sort of like... So I jump on and they exclaim, what are you doing on board?
Hey, what are you doing here?
Alright. Yar, me hearties,
That's a good yar. Apologies, anyone who's wearing headphones.
I have to, that's my trigger word, otherwise I can't do the voice.
Alright, one more time.
Yar, me hearties, just jumping on board to see what to be. If you, have any rumors or anything.
Must be hard work with that peg leg. You can catch a lift with us, sure, matey. Sure you can.
Yar, thanks.
The group assembled before you. There's 3 men on the deck of this ship. There is a large, overweight human male with a very scraggly, thin beard, blotches and pockmarks all over his cheeks and face. At first glance, you probably estimate his age to be about sort of 50, 60. But then as you hear him speak, you think he's probably only in his 30s. Just the salt has done absolutely no favors for his skin. He is tanned and leathered and vinegared. The other two, one of them is a half-orc male, very young, looks to be probably 15 or 16, quite tall and lanky. The muscles haven't quite grown in yet, shoulders aren't fully sort of like broadened yet. And he only has a few tattoos, which is a dead giveaway. The fact he's only got a couple of family tattoos and family markings. No markings of his own yet. You get the sense that he's definitely under the age of 18. He hasn't got his own first deed tattooed on his skin yet.
Right.
He's got long black hair, braided up and tied in a ponytail, and sort of those beginnings of a bit of bum fluff on his chin. The last member is the way to describe this is like when you picture Captain Morgan. This is Captain Morgan. Long red cloak. Tricorn red hat with like blue vest underneath, one pirate patch over one eye that has been studded with a diamond in the center of it, and he has 3 canteens around him, like on his chest, and 2 more on his back that you probably suspect are full of rum. He has a peg leg as well, same peg leg as you. His left leg is his peg leg, and he has a large scar down the side of his cheek on the other side where his patch is not. And as you step on board, as I begin talking with the crew, he's like, normally it's polite to seek permission to board a ship from the captain.
I take him in and I go, oh, my apologies there, friend. I just got a little bit too excited. And just wanted to get away from those, landlubbers.
Getting away from landlubbers, eh? Well, we won't say no to a bit of company from a salty sea dog like yourself. Here, wet your whistle. And he passes you one of his canteens.
Oh, I take a full swig.
Can I have a Constitution saving throw?
Yeah, it's okay. I'll do it. Why not?
There we go.
And so it begins.
20.
20. This rum, you suspect he has probably refined this himself. It is rough as guts as you swallow this. It burns your throat, but you feel
Is it spicy?
you've tasted rougher. And in the character of Swabby Seabeard, you've kind of inhabited this character quite a bit. Jin would struggle with this, but in the character of Swabby, you kind of just power through,
Take it in
and
stride.
you just take it in your stride and you just power through. Because I mean, Swabby, there's nothing to Swabby. Swabby could do like 6 of these, no problems at all. And so you're kind of getting into the character of Swabby, and it doesn't affect you yet.
I I take a big swig.
Yeah.
And then I take it away from my lips and no, this is good drop.
Yeah.
And pass it back to him.
Yeah, come on, boy, that's how you do it. Get a bit of sip. And he passes over the rum to the half-orc, who's like, oh, I really don't think I should be drinking that.
Come on, then.
lad.
Come on, get it in your
I didn't even need to have the NPC say it. Swabby's just immediately on
The
it.
captains just both just jump onto it.
Swabby, can I have you roll me a persuasion check, please? Jin
Okay.
disguised as Swabby Seabeard. 26.
26.
Kid's like, well, if
Oh,
a
wow.
stranger thinks it's all right. That's a swig. He takes it pretty well, actually. 19. He downs it, and he's sort of like, oh, that's pretty strong, hey. Oh, and hands it back to the captain. Captain goes, that was well handled, me boy. Well handled indeed. We'll have more of Captain Morgan's rum in you soon.
Captain Morgan.
Hey.
I've just committed. He's now called Captain Morgan. Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored.
So, said you were looking or listening out for rumours, did you?
You're just trying to find some excitement down here in this part of the world.
You meet up here, surely. We're as far north as you can go if you're sane.
Well, do I look sane to you there, friend?
Aye, that you don't, which is why you're welcome aboard this here vessel. No
Arr,
sane man allowed on board
Man
the
of the old
SS.
heart.
Yeah, indeed. Rather appropriately call this is the SS Icebreaker.
Ooh, damn.
Special ship Icebreaker.
Yar,
That's
do you
my
have any
stat.
voyages coming up?
Aye, we're run aground at the moment. We're doomed to wander aimlessly these here canals. The open sea is too dangerous for this poor vessel. We're taking her for her final voyage tonight, in fact, before we scrap her for parts.
Well, look, I think what Jin does is every personality he takes on, it seeps into him a little bit, and he would do
Yeah.
things that he wouldn't normally do.
It's like method acting.
I think, yeah, it's like method acting. It's probably like one of his flaws as well, that he like sinks a bit too much into it. So he just sort of gets raucous and goes, "Yar, well, you gotta give her a proper send off then.
Aye,
Come on,
that's
hearties. Drink big tonight.
Aye, this here be a
let my-
party vessel tonight.
Let's pull out my bagpipes."
Party.
Party vessel.
I
You
bring
pull out your
out my
bagpipes.
bagpipes and
Oh
I
my
start
God.
playing a jaunty tune. To try
Go
and
on,
get
make me a
everyone in. I
performance
stop my
check.
feet. It's not as high as my persuasion because performance doesn't do as much. It's a 15. It's
15's
not
not too bad. No,
bad.
not
it's still
too bad.
plus
at
8.
all. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say. Yeah, as you pull out your bagpipes, there's sort of a moment where like, hey, we don't want a funeral dirge there, and then you get into the actual song, and you're playing quite a jaunty song, which is difficult on the bagpipes. I'll say is tricky to play jaunty, upbeat
It's the
music on
only
a
thing I could
bagpipes.
think of that like could be maybe like a lute, but I'm
Maybe like
going
a
with
what, sorry?
bagpipes.
You do
I
have the
have
bagpipes.
I have a lute as well.
No, look, the bagpipes, I like it. It's cute.
Me too,
They're like,
I like
"Arr,
it."
we don't want to be put to sleep here, lad. We don't want to be in tears. Not yet. And then you start like doing this the bagpipes. And they're, oh, okay, yeah. It starts getting into it. The fatter pirate who pulls out a large water skin that is definitely not full of water. As you begin playing, sort of leans back and starts like sculling this entire water skin.
Oh my god!
Doing it in time to your song.
I'm also going to, as I'm doing, I'm going to do a minor illusion, like sort of centered at me. And what it's going to do is, because I can make like a sound of like drums or something. So basically like a beating of drums. So I'm going to do like a beating of drums. I don't know how many minor illusions I can have up. But basically I'm just doing like the backing from memory. It's the backing sort of
the backing
stuff.
Drums. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, as you begin, I think
just adds to it.
Let's go see if I've got any music that's even slightly appropriate for this. Fucking might. Let's see. Oh, here we go. No, I've got it.
Perfect.
How's that?
Perfect.
Yeah, as you begin watching into this ditty, this dirge, upbeat ditty. The fatter male pirate, the fatter male sailor begins like absolutely just sculling this entire water skin full of probably hard spirits.
Nice.
He does not look so good. By the end of it, he just goes, "That's the time that I..." And then he face plants onto the deck of the ship.
I laugh at that. I gather everyone around. I'm like, "Hey, what do you do with a drunken sailor?" Like pointing at the guy on the ground. And I'm just sort of dancing around him and getting everyone into that tune. Hey, up she rises, and then something like that.
As you're heading down the gangway and passing underneath bridges and things like that, because Drifthaven is a little bit like Venice in the way that there's canals everywhere. Like because it's a floating city on the surface of the sea, it's all canal. So you're sort of going underneath bridges and around corners and like outside people's houses. And as you're kind of like shouting, singing, "What do we do to the drunken sailor?" a lady sort of pokes her head out. This older half-orc woman pokes her head out the window and goes, "Seriously, trying to put the kids to bed here." Slams the doors.
That's right. Do the vocals louder.
As you come onto the next section, she leans out with a chamber pot and pours it over you guys. Can I have you make a dexterity saving throw to avoid a chamber pot being poured over your head?
Right.
26
a credit.
Natural 20.
I'm going to like do some like. Okay, so it's 26.
I kind of like the idea of you like backflipping, and as you do, the bagpipe is like, as you like, squeeze it to backflip onto the top of the cabin barge.
I'm just sort of gonna jump on top of the drunk sailor, use him as like a springboard to go up all these different barrels and like the side of the ship, and sort of like sway a little bit, and then go on the top. And I just start singing even louder.
As you land on his stomach, he immediately begins vomiting. So you go, boom,
I'm going to have the vomit like come up, but it's going to miss me.
Like a fountain.
All of me. But like, it's sort of like, in Deadpool, he does all the slow motion stuff.
Yeah.
Where all this stuff is going off. That's just what's happening right now.
Swampy Seabeard, this old, grizzled, one-legged man, somehow pulls off this incredible backflip off a man's stomach while he's vomiting.
And the thing is, the peg leg is a real thing too.
Yeah, it's a real peg leg. You backflip over the top of this vomit and land on the top and like hold your arms up like this. There is a round of applause from spectators, and you see behind you as you turn, you've actually drawn a bit of a crowd. There's a number of people following this barge, looking at the four of you and thinking like, what the fuck is going on here? And there's a bit of a crowd joining. There's a couple of burly half-orc sailors.
And I sort of shout at the top of my lungs and go, "Yar, this be her last voyage. All of ye, join in the festivities. Get some ale and teas and join in. Yeah. What do you say, Captain?"
Everyone's welcome if you're paying this mighty vessel a fond farewell. This has an immediate effect on the crowd. A number of half-orc sailors, tattoos covering their body of various battles with sea monsters, begin running down the gangway and jump onto the boat and join the Ved. Like, "Permission to come aboard, Captain!" "Yeah, permission granted." And the boat begins filling up rapidly.
Do some of them have their own instruments?
Yes, yeah. That's the next thing I was going to get to. A number of the half-orc sailors begin pulling out just the mismatched of instruments. See, one's got an accordion, one of them's got this long flute with 4 different spaces for finger holes. One of them's got a trumpet, but the trumpet has this weird wooden block that he's putting on over the end, which gives it this sort of strange tinny sound. For those of you who know what a muffler is. Just getting like a good little like sound. You pass underneath one of the many taverns of Drifthaven, and as you are going underneath, rowdy as all fuck, a very, very strange-looking tabaxi leans their head out the window. Very short black fur with these bright yellow eyes, and goes,
"Ah, Captain Morgan, is this the final voyage of your vessel, finally? Yar, Shadow, that it be, that it be. Well, if I may sponsor you all with a drink. Oh, that'd be very welcome. Come on round to the dry dock, and I'll make sure you're never dry again."
And with that, Captain Morgan runs up behind and just spins the wheel as hard as he can. The boat does a full 180 and crashes into the side of the tavern. A trapdoor drops down, and a full barrel of mead lands on the boat, causing the entire vessel to shake ominously. 3 people are knocked overboard by this and go straight into the drink as it begins shaking the vessel. From your deck save of earlier, you've got your sea legs. Absolutely, you're completely fine.
Nice.
Yeah, and immediately the half-orc, the younger half-orc man who was on the boat originally, picks up this barrel and jams it onto the top of the mast, tying it on as tight as he can, and begins dispensing this mead, which is very strong, to all members of the boat. Jin, could I have another Constitution saving throw? Because I imagine you would be drinking at this point.
Alright. I'm going to do Bardic Inspiration on myself.
Okay.
Because I don't want to die just yet.
What do you mean die?
Oh my
6.
god.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
no,
no.
it's a D8.
11. That's not too bad. All right.
I'm just going to do a D8 if it's lower than a 5. Oh, I got an 8 because it's actually a D8.
Okay. All right. In that case, then, so
My
that is
Bardic
a total
Inspiration
of
is
14.
13.
Would it be 14? Oh
Yeah,
does it be-
6. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah, it
6
is
plus
14.
8.
My bad. I was looking at the 5.
Yeah. Could I have you do a carousing check for me? D100 carousing table, please.
Oh, right.
That's right. I have 100 different
73.
options. 73.
I am pretty drunk by now. I'm not like super blind drunk yet, but I'm fairly drunk.
Okay. Okay, this is great. Jin,
Okay.
the half-orc
Let's do
sailors
it.
who jumped on the deck with you and you've been playing music with, this works so well, that you've been playing music with, you're starting to get really friendly with them. These guys are really great. And you're like sharing stories and tales. What is one tale that Jin would share? Because it begins becoming a bit of like a boasting contest. Not like a proper boast, but like a, I guess in a way like we're going to call this the competition of tall tales, where they're telling taller and taller tales, trying to outdo the other one with their tall tale. What tall tale would Jin tell?
Well, I'm probably C-bit at the moment, and that has sunk in.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know if I should do like a lie, because I haven't done that many adventures on the seas. Oh, actually, no, I got a good one. That's actually true. Gather around, ye mateys, and I have a tale to tell. Me and my friends, we were on me sky barge. I captained it. And we got set on by 2 manticores. They came out of the clouds. We were in a bit of a pickle. But I tap my head. This captain be smart. Smarter than any landlubber.
You be a smart captain.
I use my magic and create an illusion of a giant ancient dragon. The manticores be scuttling and running away in fear as my ancient dragon drives them off from the barge. Everyone on the barge was in amazement at my feat, and all proclaimed Captain Swabby Seabeard be the best sky barge captain around these here parts.
Jin,
There's a bit
the
of
half-orc
tales.
sailors are fucking loving this story. As they've been telling
True
their
as well.
tales, they've been pointing to where it's tattooed on their body, because all of their tales are linked to tattoos that they have. And as you're telling this story, they're kind of like looking at you a little bit expectantly. And as you don't reveal tattoos, they kind of go, you need to get this tattooed. Yeah, you
To
need to
do
get
it?
this tattooed
Okay,
on your body.
look,
You need a tattoo of
this
this so
is-
that you can tell the tale.
This is a little bit much. But Jin would do this because he's a bit of an
Because your
he's a bit of a
carousing check
show-off.
is you wake up with a tattoo that you don't remember getting.
Oh.
Nah.
What I'm going to do is quickly. What I will do is
Yeah.
quickly.
Nice.
Jin is a show off. He's going to do a major image to go along with his.
Oh, amazing. Yep.
It's basically of his story, and it's going to
Yeah.
have the whole Manticores coming on the sky barge,
yeah.
the ancient dragon like showing forcing them off, and this looks like legit. Like 'cause it's the
People are
major
losing
image,
their
so-
minds about this. I mean, the crowd that was before was fairly medium to large. The size, because of major image, what's the size you can do? I think it's like 20-foot cubes.
20 feet.
It's fucking huge. It's almost life-sized. As you're doing this above the barge, you're getting like gasps of amazement. A few arrows fly through. A few jets of water are shot. From various houses.
It
through
actually
the thing before
does
they
like
realise it's
it
an
does
image.
sounds as well and everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It even
That's-
does like people can even feel like the heat coming off the.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
the,
people think this
dragon.
is real for a bit. Before people start to realize it's illusion, cries like, "Oh, it's an illusion. It's okay." from the sides of the gangways. But for a moment, people genuinely think this is real, and there's a real like cause of like, "Oh!" as this skyship and Manticore appear in the sky, followed by a giant dragon. But yeah, I mean, the people on the boat are loving this. They're going swabby, swabby, swabby.
Yes.
One of the bigger half-orcs, this very, very muscular man, comes forward and pulls out from around. He's got like a little fanny pack, a little bum bag, and he spins it round to the front and goes, "I have my tattoo equipment right here. We could get you with that story tattooed upon your skin in a moment, and then everyone would know of your heroics, your bravery."
I think I'm pretty drunk at this point.
Yes.
So I just sort of, yeah, that'd be a great idea. Cross my chest.
I was going to
Chest
suggest your
piece.
back, but chest is good.
Even better. Put her on the back, yeah, there, friend.
So you get a tattoo. The tattoo is of a sky bar. They've done their best to do a skyship. It doesn't look exactly. Oh no, it would, because you created the major image. It's
I'm
perfect
going
to
to
every
as well.
detail.
What I'm going to do to make it even better, just in case, I'm going to give him bardic inspiration.
Amazing.
So,
do you want
yeah.
to roll it for me? Do you want to roll the bardic inspiration for me so I know how
let's
much
see.
plus he gets?
It's only a 3, but it's something.
Jin, could I have you please roll for me another D100? I just want to know something about this because there are some aspects of the
24.
orcish tattoos. 24. Okay, cool. Yeah, the tattoo across your chest is amazing. The detail is just incredible. You can see that the skyship is there. There's a large dragon, wings curling around the skyship, and you can see 3 manticores fleeing. They added an extra manticore. You can see 3 manticores.
I want, and something else, like I want that sort of like the image, and then around it sort of like really cool like artwork of like wind and all that, to like really like sort of.
Oh yeah, there's like
all
all cloud details to surround it and winds, and you can see the 2 moons in the sky behind. Even though you described it as during the day and the image was during the day, they thought the night would be more dramatic, so they've like taken
Perfect.
some artistic liberties with it. But the styling of it is very stylistic, and it's all lines and swirls and patterns. And then Swabby, you're standing on the deck of this ship, like arms held aloft, summoning this dragon with your peg leg, and your peg leg's got all these like arches and cracks in it, and you just look like this bloody legend standing on the deck, like doing this stuff.
Oh, that's hilarious.
This tattoo looks amazing by the time they're finished. And everyone's like clapping and cheering and really getting into it. Can I have another Constitution saving throw, please, Jin,
Yeah,
as you
it's fine.
continue drinking and continue?
I'm not going to do
carousing?
bardic inspiration because I'll forget to do that. 17 there.
17. Yeah, you're still doing okay at this point. The night continues on. You begin to lose track of time quite quickly. The songs continue, the music continues, the drinking continues, and before too long, you and a couple of other sailors, including Captain Morgan, are up at the very prow of the ship, standing aloft.
Would
looking
probably,
out. Yeah.
I reckon, would all be like sort of flagons in hand. We're all sort of like
Swaying backwards and forwards.
swaying back and forwards together, like sort of
Yeah.
all our like arms linked, and we're just sort of sitting there
she
like.
was a bloody good vessel.
We'll
Like
probably
that.
just be doing some sort of like like little like
Yeah.
jaunt, like some probably like sailor tune or something, but like definitely like drunk. Like it's all slow.
Are you going to say to the wall? As you're like going backwards and
Well,
forwards.
the orcs will still be going, but probably.
Oh
not
yeah,
as
and
still
the
going.
boat is now starting to sink in the water. The number of people that are on this thing, like people keep jumping on, people keep jumping off. It's become a bit of an event through the town. As the boat sort of comes around a corner, you kind of realise that Captain Morgan's up at the prow of the boat with you. And there's this sort of moment of pause where he looks at you and you look at him and he goes,
Who's steering the ship?
and that's when the barge crashes into a gangway towards the town square. You tumble head over heels, your pantaloons catching on the prow of the ship, while the rest of the people just go either face first onto the deck of the ship or overboard into the water. Captain Morgan tumbles and pratfalls and rolls across the centre of the town square, landing right in front of Lockie, Mira, Shana, and Yervith and Burton.
As I sort of see them a little bit, and I go, and everyone else around me, and I go, Yarr! Great send off there, friends. Great send off.
As you're sort of like hanging off the prow of the figurehead, the boat start to sink, and you see it start going down, and the captain goes,
She was a fine vessel.
With my dexterity save from before, can I like do it so like as the mast sort of comes down, I sort of just like nonchalantly just sort of am able to touch the ground on the ground, and my
you can roll me
sort of...
an acrobatics or an athletics
Alright,
check.
let's do it.
Absolutely, you
Let's
can.
do it.
I should say as well, 23. You guys also see Jin's shirt is still open and a swabby, and you can see he has this intricate tattoo all across his chest that was not there a couple of hours ago. As the ship begins to pitch, a lot of people begin like jumping off. A few people just like hold on and go, down with the ship, as they're like clinging on. And as the boat begins sinking, Jin, you sort of like detach your pants from the figurehead, pull them back up again a little bit unceremoniously, and then step off onto the platform as the last bit of the ship goes under the water. The captain sort of goes...
I sort of dust myself off a little bit too. Like I keep the flag in hand.
Yeah.
And I take a big
Swabby takes his hat off and goes,
The captain goes down with his ship.
no, I don't. I'm still on the. I missed it. And he runs over and swan dives into the water.
Nice.
The half-orc soon follows and drags him out. He's like,
I gotta go down with my ship, lad. You don't understand.
he's like dragging him onto shore.
I walk up to our friends, and I am dusting myself off a little bit, patting myself, take a huge swig of ale again. Let's do another Constitution saving throw.
Sure.
18.
It's still okay. Still fine.
I will
You have
sway
not
a little
rolled
bit.
below a 15.
No, it's pretty good. I sort of sway a little bit to the group, and I go, Yar, how be your night goes? Yes.
Well,
Hello there.
And there's all these people behind me, just like they're still probably
cheering.
like
Some of them are crying.
cheering.
Yeah.
The orcs are probably still playing a tune. They probably jumped off and just kept like the tune up.
The orcs are in the ocean singing. They're still singing. Some of them are still playing their
They're
soggy
still
instruments.
singing.
The one with the accordion is still, every time he closes it, water squirts out one of the holes.
I sort of stop for a second and go, I forgot to ask about the rumors. I got carried away, you see.
Looks like you made some friends.
I sort of look around, and I look at Lockie and go, that might have been the case. A little bit too much to drink.
Tara looks at you and goes, you hanging out with Captain Morgan? That is brave of you, lad. Brave of you.
I sort of look at her and be like, Yari seems to be well adjusted.
He does this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday nights. We've really got to talk to him about this.
I sort of...
How many months does he go through?
No,
Yeah,
his job is to scuttle ships, but he's obsessed with giving them a proper send-off. He's supposed to scuttle them in the bay and make reefs out of them, but he's convinced that it's not polite. He's got to give the boat a proper send-off. He does it every single time.
I will say to him, this one might have been a tad bit more. I did exacerbate the send-off a little bit here there, matey.
I can see that. Normally that's not this big a crowd, but generally people use it for bar hopping. They just jump on one of the barges or the boats that he's taken, continue their drinking and jump off at the next stop. But you seem to have brought half the town with you. Or at least half the sailing town.
It's like, yeah, I sort of look at everyone. I'm pretty drunk now, and I go, "Yo, check out me tattoo," and I just unbutton my shirt pretty quick and be like, "Yar, check this one out. What a beauty!"
Wow, you got an orcish tattoo.
Yar, yes, I did.
That's a pretty big sign of respect. Or they were piss drunk.
Could have been both.
Bit of column A, bit of column B.
Is this a temporary tattoo or for a forever tattoo?
No, forever tattoo.
I just sort of shrug. Nonchalantly, that like, oh.
No, it's forever. As a changeling Jin, you know that this tattoo is on your skin forever. However, you can change the size and shape of it as well as the location of it easily. So whenever you want it hidden, you can just put it on the underside of your foot. Problem solved.
That's cool.
Or like inside your butt cheek.
Gross.
Because I should say specifically the carousing check was you wake up with a sore left butt cheek. As you look over, you see a tattoo that you do not recognize and do not remember. But I was like, for a changeling, it moves wherever you want it. And I thought this would be more fun with you on this. But yeah, Batara sort of gives a bit of a nod. You can see Batara has some of the tattoos, but not as many as some of her comrades. She gives you a really serious look, Jin, just kind of swapping goes, I just want you to be aware, it's a pretty great honor. You are now recognized as bloodkin to any orc of the sea. Any Maloran orc will recognize you as kin for this. They've even put their tribe mark on it, and you can see down the bottom underneath there's this swirling pattern that looks like a series of waves. Because they don't just do that for anybody. You must have really impressed these guys.
I get my swag, I get my ale, my flagon, and I go, "Yar, that sounds perfect," and I take a big gulp as it's like rushing down my beard.
Oh god! And dripping over the tattoo, making it look like actual like rain
17.
over the scene. Right. Well,
I wrote another one.
17, you're still doing well though. You're still handling well.
Yeah.
You're so in character at this point that like there's nothing that can stop you. You could drink all night long and Swabby is still going to be standing upright. Jin the next morning, not doing so well. But Swabby, like the character's just taken over. Jin is no more. He is just Swabby now for the moment.
Swabby, my friend, does it not bother you that they've misrepresented your memory?
So I look at him. What do you mean there, friend? I be Swabby Seabeard.
Yes, you're Swabby Seabeard. There's more waverings.
I just sort of halfway through him talking, I just clasp him by the shoulder and I just get the ale and just shove it down his throat. Drink up, ye friend. This be a celebration.
I mean, what
I know
Lockie,
it doesn't affect him, but
no, I was gonna say what Jin as Swabby is drinking at this point is less ale and more moonshine. So as he begins pouring this over you, Lockie, it's almost like some sort of like cleaning or rubbing alcohol just being poured through your system, and you start to sort of feel a few of your gears like as they begin to like clear some of the debris off them. It's basically like acetone that you're drinking. You're like, oh, no, that's quite nice actually. Thank you. I'm
feeling a little cleaner. Thank you. I was mixing very well with the oil I had before.
Lockie catches fire. No. Combustion.
This be a celebration. Stay up to the wee hours of the morning.
Mira, Shana, and Yervith. Swabby's breath by this point is it's pretty rank. As Swabby continues shouting very close to your faces. It's very
so strong of alcohol.
Yeah, it's you're beginning to get a bit lightheaded.
Well,
yeah, as he breathes out, there's a shimmer of heat. Just the sheer amount of alcohol in his breath. Swabby is now like his blood's not 0.2% alcohol. His blood is 2% alcohol at this point.
You think that would be impossible, but it's not. I can tell you right now.
I know. Swabby's at least he's 98% water, 2% ethanol.
Oh, God.
And every swig it's another percent. Yeah, Batara sort of looks over at you guys and goes, right, well look, I've got to head back. I've got a bit of an early start. Got to get the rest of the family to bed. Make sure everyone's tucked in. I'm going to be heading out on a bit of a fishing trip early in the morning, about 4 a.m. Try and catch some of the moonlight squid as they come up. But then after that, I can meet you back at your vessel. We can go for a bit of a sail up towards the north. I'll lead you to the location where we saw and sank that fucking vessel that those bastards were taking. You can head across the
just
sea
boring. Here, have a drink. Come on now. I'm too drunk.
Batara takes. Batara sort of. Yeah.
I've got an arm around him on one side, so
I go
he's
to
leaning on my shoulder before tipping.
oh yeah, so
stuff
I
down.
go to give her a drink, but Lockie can hold me back if he wants. So I'll try.
Yeah, I'll have another one. Just pour it in my shoulder.
Oh, perfect. I just keep. I grab a beer off like a nail off a walking orc,
Hey!
and I'll just like just shove it down your throat.
What a waste! Warforged can't even drink that.
Arr, don't stop your swabbling. There's more where that came from.
He's gonna be all sticky. As you pour an ale over Lockie, Lockie, you're like, wait, this isn't alcohol. No, what are you doing?
This is not what I want. Residue everywhere.
Yeah, you begin to smell a bit wheaty and piney, Lockie. Like stale beer.
Mira's very reluctant to go anywhere near him in case she accidentally sets him on fire.
Swabby would be the more immediate concern at this point.
That's what I mean. Swabby. That's
Oh,
what I mean.
right, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Shall we get him to bed? What do we do? I don't understand.
I thought you said you were going to be out all night, Mira.
Well, I kind of...
Perfect, yeah, come on, lads. Get into it. Come on, let's be a celebration, a party.
Alrighty.
Let's loose.
What I'm going to do in the interest of keeping the plot moving, as much as I'm enjoying this, what I'm going to do, who is carousing with Jin? Because Jin, I'm assuming you're not heading to bed. You are heading back out for more
Oh
carousing.
no, I am Swabby Sigbid tonight.
Yeah.
And I have cohorts to sort of entertain.
I mean, as you're talking to these people are like, Swabby, come back to us. Don't hang out with the square. Swabby. I need to know, which of you is square and which of you is going out to hang out with Swabby?
Mira will do that thing where, you know, how you get kind of swept along and you're like that awkward, like...
Oh, I'm definitely dragging you because you talked to me, so I'm dragging you by the arm. So
He grabs your tail and drags you backwards.
Yeah, and you're probably too awkward to say no.
Yep, he's right. Just too polite. Just like, oh, okay.
Lockie, Shana?
I guess I better stay up, make sure I don't fall in the bay or something.
Well, I was going to say I'm about 600 years too old for this, but I'm not going to be the only one going back to the ship.
Yervith looks over and is already walking following Jin. He's already on it. Batara sort of looks and goes,
Yervith, did you say you wanted to come fishing?
he sort of pauses and goes,
I wouldn't mind seeing fish.
I mage hand him to come.
4 a.m.
What do you do? Sorry, you mage hand slap him.
He gets a mage hand, I slap him with the mage hand, and then I just grab him on his arm and drag him with us.
What does your mage hand look like, Jin?
As Swabby, it's like this glove, like a sailor's glove, and just encrusted with seashells and stuff and
Jin?
Muscles.
Yes, but it is leaking
Swabby.
black smoke as you summon it.
That's fine.
And you slap him, and he goes, "Ugh!" And then you grab his arm, start pulling, and he's like,
Okay, Batara, I'm just gonna have a few drinks and then I'll come fishing in the morning as well.
drag him along. Alrighty, I'm going to get each of you to roll me carousing checks, please. First, I'll get 2 things. I'll get a Constitution saving throw from all of you, and then a carousing check, please.
Uh-oh. I've already
Going
failed.
to Bard Inspiration one
quick
more
question.
time.
Yes.
So, the Constitution save, is it because the alcohol is technically poison?
I'm not going to have this shit pulled at my table, Ali. We know that yes, alcohol is technically a poison. However, if you are imbibing it of your own free will for the purposes of getting inebriated, it does not count as a poison.
Uh-oh.
In the world of D&D, as it is written, alcohol is not a poison. Poison is very clear.
Oh wow,
I
everyone did really well there on
You did very
Constitution
well.
saves.
Yeah.
You
They
all
take the 20
Yeah,
minutes.
so-
Okay, so let's go through the carousing check. So we'll do them one at a time. I'm just gonna quickly. Oh, Mira, is that a 9?
Yep. No.
Everything under 10 is amazing. So. Oh man! All right, this is gonna be good. 75, 77, 23. I'm gonna save yours for last, Mira. Yours is way too funny. We're gonna get to
Just
yours.
quickly, Owen, is
Yes.
75 as close to 73? Is it the same thing or different?
No, it's different. No. None of them are the same. It's an actual D100
Cool.
carousing
Awesome.
table. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, who got 77?
I did.
Shauna.
No, Shauna
we
got
both
77.
Sorry, no,
77?
I got 75. I got 75. My bad.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
Shauna
we're gonna do you
77.
two together. We're gonna do you two together. So Shauna and Jin, you begin partying well into the night. Drifthaven is very much like Nassau was during the golden age of piracy. It is alcohol flows freely. There is great freedoms. The rules that are followed by the half-orcs are the rules of the wild. It's all about respect and working as one with nature. What that means is that there's no stupid laws for most of you to have to worry about, and a lot of stuff is fairly permissible. There are drugs freely being passed around, all sorts of fun things.
Ooh.
You guys are getting very into the nightlife of Drifthaven, and you feel probably more welcome here, Shauna, than you've ever felt in your life. Jin, this is very similar to the Bard's College in the way that you're welcomed. You just feel like part of the family, and it's one of the aspects.
Just another night.
Yeah, one of the ways that the half-orcs, the Maloran orcs, indoctrinate you, or not indoctrinate you, but welcome you into the extended family of Drifthaven, is with a very, very pungent, strong drink in half a coconut. Each of you down this. It tastes incredibly sweet. There's a hint of kind of like banana and pineapple there, but the overwhelming flavor is this sweet citrus. You find out sort of over the course of the night that this is some sort of fermented fish that is fermented with coral to produce this incredibly strong, semi-hallucinogenic alcohol substance. And before too long, colors begin to start swirling around you. The luminescence in the water, the bioluminescence, takes on kind of like the Starry Night appearance, begins swirling in these patterns around you. The moons begin sort of shifting and changing place in the sky above. And all of you begin having the most incredible time. And the half-orcs and the Maloran orcs are so welcoming. You are welcomed into their tribe, into their group. You don't really know anybody's names. You don't catch anybody's names. Mira, probably the one time you go to get out your notebook and write down names, a very, very tall half-orc woman puts a hand on your shoulder and goes, "Just live. Just for one night. Just live." And looks you like full on in the eyes as she says it. And you just have this moment, you're like, "Oh, I will." Tuck your notebook away. Don't take any names. So, the next morning, Shauna and Jin, you awaken, handcuffed, together, and to a lamppost. You are handcuffed to a lamppost. A sign is taped to each of you, which says, "Party pirates, do not free until the morning." Each of you has this sign on you. Jin,
That's so fitting.
you have eye makeup in this incredible display of pink and purple up the sides of your head as Swabby Seabeard. Shauna, you are wearing a pirate's hat, a tricorn pirate's hat, and you are handcuffed together. So what Shauna's is to be handcuffed to a post, Jin's is to be handcuffed to another person and wakes up in their house. This seemed like a great way to combine it together. You guys awake and handcuffed to this post. It does not take you too long before like someone comes and actually unlocks it. You see one of the policemen, one of the sheriffs sort of wanders over and goes, "I see they were up to their shenanigans last night. Let me just don't do that. I really shouldn't lend these to them." He unlocks the chains and handcuffs. Just encourages them.
I tip my hat to him and go, "Yar, thanks, yeah." And I sort of hold my head.
As you go to tip your hat, you look
my
over.
head starts pounding.
Shauna's wearing your hat.
Get that back here.
She is slithering away, past her tail and go. Just.
Yar, that. Wait, I pat my head down. Where be me seagull?
Lockie. 23 was it? 23.
Oh man, I want to screw some.
Lockie.
I have your seagull now.
Lockie, you awaken seated, face planted in this massive open room, this incredibly large longhouse. Oars are arranged around the side. You can see several skeletonized remains of sharks, these giant shark maws and various other sea creatures scattered around the hall. And seated next to you, dressed in these very almost like fish netting that's been arranged and draped with cloth, is a very old half-orc woman who's sitting next to you. He goes, "Ah, you awaken.
Hello there.
You seem to have powered down for a time there, lad. How you doing?
I was running a diagnostic. I guess I'm fine. One of the gears inside of my head seems to be grinding against another one.
I did pop one of those back in for you last night.
Oh, yes? Did I lose?
Right after you catalogued our entire library.
She points behind her, and you can see this rows and rows of books that have been arranged perfectly in order of size, color, and text. And it's pristine.
I'm very grateful for that.
You're very, very welcome.
I didn't ask you to, but thank you.
I enjoyed myself thoroughly.
She nods at you and then goes,
Well, if you're doing a little better, it's probably time for you to leave.
I think that's probably, yes.
Lockie, as you stumble out and look upon, open up these large doors and stumble out, you realize you're looking at the town square. You're in the Longhouse, the vast town hall of this place, and in front of you, you see Jin and Shana getting unshackled from a lamppost.
And you probably also see Shana run off with my hat and me chasing her.
Shana begins like slithering away with your hats.
Yarr, get back here!
All right.
Me, Captain.
I'm taller than you. There's no chance of you reaching it.
I'm gonna use Mage Hand to just
Mage Hand to take the
snatch
hat
it off
off.
their head.
Shana also has Mage Hand. She is extending it that full reach.
I reckon it'd be funnier though if like I grab it, she feels it off her head, she can cast Mage Hand, and then we're tug of warring it.
It's just locked in the middle of you guys shaking ominously as you're both tearing at it with Mage Hand.
Lockie's going to charge after them.
Yep.
And he's going to put his hands underneath Shana's armpits and lift her up. And as he does, he's going to cast Enlarge on himself and use the giant strength.
Okay.
Size.
So you're using the Giant's Legacy.
Yes.
Okay, here's what happens. You guys watch as Lockie sort of like runs over and picks Shana up. Lockie, at some point during the night, that giant rune that you had found below, you actually have incorporated into your design. You have no memory of doing this, but it is now incorporated into your design. And as you lift her up, one of the gears in your upper arm shifts and knocking another gear, and then clicking this rune into place. There's this sudden moment as memories open up and blossom in your mind, and you realize this isn't your normal size. This isn't the size you were designed. And as you realize that, this magic begins flowing through you, light pushing across your arms, and you watch as Lockie begins growing in size, this sort of clicking, ticking noise as he begins growing larger and larger and larger. Lockie, as you are holding Shana, you go from holding her in two hands to being able to hold her in one hand as you take on the size of a stone giant as you stand tall. The wood underneath your feet groans ominously and the entire square sinks ever so slightly and water sloshes over the side up to about ankle depth as you're standing there. Bystanders
I noticed
begin
this.
going, oh!
I appear to have grown. Hold her up. Keep his thing away from him.
I noticed this.
Yes.
I'm going to Eldritch Blast the floor under Lockie.
Oh no!
Okay. Roll me damage. Lockie, you might be falling to the bottom of the sea. Just so you know.
This is fine.
Wait.
No, I would do it. I would just do it. Alright, roll damage.
I've done that yet.
It's only 3 plus 3.
As you
6
shoot,
damage.
the Eldritch Blast hits the water, and the water that's sloshed over absorbs some of the impact. Lockie, the wood underneath you groans again very ominously, but no further effects happen just yet.
Give me hat back. I'm sort of like, so Swabby isn't angry. He's just like he's
playing along.
he's still
Yeah.
laughing. He's laughing.
Yeah.
He's having fun with it.
Playing along. Yeah.
He's playing along. He's just being like, he's just like a bit
Alright.
competitive now though, and he's having fun with it.
Can Shana jump off Lockie's hand, try and jump over Swabby and keep running? Like she wants to try and make it back to the boat with the hat.
I'll give
Okay.
a push as well.
Okay. So Lockie just throws her.
Oh my god.
And,
How high up is she? Is
Yeah.
she take falling damage?
Yeah.
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 You're so high.
Shana, could I please have an
It's
athletics or an
just-
acrobatics check? Lockie, can you please roll an athletics check for me, please?
Okay, can I also do a flash of genius on her as well?
Flash of genius? Yes, you can.
Amazing.
Natural
You don't
20.
need to, you don't even
This
need to,
fucking
man.
sneaky little snake. Yeah. Lockie, as you just throw her, you just basically just yeet her over Jin. The water, as you're sort of flying through the air, Shana, you kind of angle your body and let your tail take some of the brunt force of the water and the impact, and you begin skating along and shifting. You do take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, but you don't take any more than that, and you begin slithering away as fast as you can. Jin just hot on your tail, coming up, literally hot on your tail, coming after you, trying to get that hat back. Lockie, are you gonna like boof, boof, through the town chasing them? people like dive for the sides of gangways as like fucking huge feet go boof, onto the gangways. Before too long, all of you guys get back to the ship. Shana sort of slithers up the side of the ship. Are you doing like a little victory dance on the deck of the ship with the hat? Is that the plan here?
She's just like waving the hat, and then as soon as Swabby comes on, she slowly goes down and hands it back to him.
Yeah, nice.
I
Jin,
sort
yeah,
of pat it
you're
down
right up,
and
but
I'll
yeah.
chuck it on. And, Yards be a bit of fun, but my head be aching like the swaying of the ocean in the storm.
All right, I'm now going to read out number 7.
Oh, 9.
You
Nine.
wake up.
9.
Yeah. You wake up in
Nine.
bed with an NPC you previously made friends with. My question is, I'm just trying to figure out how to best play this. My first thought was Leosin, and then I had a better idea. Leosin,
No, who?
as Mira, as you awaken the next morning, light streaming through your room, you realize that your bed, which is quite large, has someone else in it, and as you roll over, you see red scales. And as you sort of like sit up a little bit and look, you see the very familiar face of a red Dragonborn.
No way.
No, what?
As
Oh
he
my
as he
God.
sort of opens his
Who
eyes
is it?
blearily, he goes,
No way.
Mira?
Oh, Mira.
Mira.
Oh my god. No way.
Oh no, he's blue. Sorry, he's blue. He's not red, he's blue. Langdodros was a blue Dragonborn.
Oh,
Sorry.
I thought it was so it's not
Sorry, no,
Langdodros.
sorry, he's blue Dragonborn. I was having a moment, I was like, he's red. No, he's blue. Sorry, as you
Aw.
looks at you see a blue Dragonborn.
Oh.
He's not in your
Oh.
bed, he's like draped over the side, having been unconscious. He's fully clothed, fully armored, with his sword still strapped to his back, as if he's just passed out in your room.
Okay.
And as he's sort of like, what was that, sorry?
I say, okay.
Yeah, and you're fully clothed as well. Like, you've got all your robes. It looks like you guys stumbled back to the ship and passed out. You don't remember. And, like I imagine, like, as you've come back drunk, Mira's like, shh, can't wake anyone. And he's like, I won't
There's
wake
no one
anyone.
there.
She's like, shh, just get in my room. Shut up. You can lie on the floor. All right. And then he just collapses on your bed. I'm taking it as the innocent interpretation of you wake up in
So,
bed with
who is this person? Sting.
Langdodrosa.
It's like
Oh, is he blue?
He's
I
blue
thought he was
Dragonborn.
red.
Blue.
No,
yeah,
no, he's blue. He's
That's why I
blue.
was like,
No, he's blue.
he's blue.
He looks up, he's blinking, he's like, Mira, what am I doing here?
I'm just like, real?
Yes, and you touch him, he's like, you sort of poke his hard scales, he's like, ow, as you miss and poke him in the eye.
Oh. Yeah, fair enough. Like, where? I don't remember where you came from.
I
Let me
came
check
here.
something. Let me check something. Let me check. I'll check it. I'll just check. She gets out a notebook and see if she's written anything down.
You've drawn a series of pictograms and stick figures. Can you roll me a history check to try and interpret what you've written?
Okay. Wait. Wait a minute.
15. Yeah, so definitely this stick figure, you've like kind of like put a bit of blue crayon over, and probably Langdodrosa. There's a stick figure of you which is like red and white down each side. Again, you're like white's probably close enough to silver. That could be me. You see yourself watching another skyship come in and land in the bay. You were a bit drunk. You went over to it thinking it was your skyship. You wandered on looking for Leosin, like to like invite Leosin out and the rest of the crew. And as you stumbled down the lower decks, you stumbled into Langdodrosa. Langdodrosa was also quite shit-faced at this point. And as you guys, and as you guys stumble back, as you guys stumble back out onto the town and continue drinking, Langdodrosa was like, "I'm going back to my boat," and he got a bit confused and wandered onto your boat, and so you're trying to like slow him down and stop him from waking everybody up. And as he's like walking down the gangway below deck, you know there's no rooms free. With the doors closed, you think everyone else has come back and is asleep. So you like push him into your room, trying to get him to stay quiet, and he collapses and falls unconscious on your bed. At which point, or like half on the bed, half on the floor. At which point you also decide, like, yeah, all right, I'm not getting anywhere tonight.
So, Owen,
Yes.
as they're speaking in her room,
You guys are just
Mike-
arriving back as the poof, poof, poof footsteps of Lockie. Mira, you hear the footsteps as the boat begins rocking from the wake
I'm
of the
gonna probably go
displacement of water.
downstairs as well to like go to my room. So on the stairs, she's gonna hear the
before
distinct...
that happens, Langdodrosa kind of like looks around, realizing he's in Mira's room, and like opens the door and like steps out and goes, "Sorry, I don't remember getting in here, Mira."
It's fine. It's nothing. Nothing happened. It's just
You guys definitely
needed-
had sexual
got
tension.
confused.
There's definitely something there.
He's like wiping his eyes, and he's like,
What are you doing here? I
What
thought
are
you
you
were
doing here?
in the jungle. Looking for you.
What? Why?
The guild sent me. A Tempest guild.
The guild? Wait. You need breakfast. Mira will go and make an enormous breakfast.
as you begin walking out, Mira, this is the point where Jin begins walking down the stairs. As Swab.
Yeah.
I sort of come down to see Mira making Langdodrosa. I don't know how to say it properly.
Langdodrosa.
But
Langdodrosa.
Langdodrosa.
So we
I stumble over it. Anywho,
Langers.
I come down. That's perfect, Langers. I come down. I sort of take in the side of this like other Dragonborn hanging out while Mira's making him breakfast.
Yeah.
And I sort of shoot like a knowing look at Mira and go, "Well, you got up to a bit of fun, did you?" And I give her a wink.
Langdodrosa looks over at Jin and goes,
The small hairy one's gotten a little larger since I last saw him.
Small hairy one.
That's not Wiltix, is it?
No. No. This. Actually, who are you at the moment?
You'll be Swabby
Swabby
Seabeard at
Seabeard.
your service, and I do a flourish with my hat, and I look at Mira
Langdodrosa.
again. I look at Mira again with like a knowing look, like, "Oh, Mira, did you get up to? What have I stumbled into? Whoops, I didn't mean to."
Mira just has this like
disturb-
broad, innocent smile on her face. She's like, "Bacon?
Bacon.
Yeah."
I leave you lovebirds alone. Now go back up top deck.
Leosin comes down the stairs at this point, rubbing his eyes, and goes,
Uh-oh.
Wait, Langdodrosa? What the fuck? Azure sent me. Your worthless brother. Right, okay. Why? What are you doing here? I think it's best if we talk in private. It's about the items of value you acquired back in small town. I don't want to say too much in front of this salty sailor.
I head back up top deck
clunk, clunk, clunk with his wooden
because I
stick.
feel like
Wooden peg leg.
because I just immediately took Mira like cooking meal for like a lover, and I'm just like,
Except Mira's cooking way too much food for just Langdodrosa.
I know.
She's putting like a whole half pig on the fry pan.
I just immediately think that like, oh yeah, this is like this happens all the time at the Bard's College like parties.
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah right.
This is just like I just give her a knowing like look and a smile and a wink, and I go, I just sort of like want to leave them alone.
I just noticed in the chat someone's gone Bard's College and then next to it arts degree. Oh, Looney, so good. It's not. Do you know what? Yes, that is now canon.
Accurate.
Yeah. As Swabby heads back upstairs, Langdodrosa gives a meaningful look towards Mira and Leosin and goes, "It's about the dragon eggs."
Is that why you're here? Is it anyone else around? No, everyone's. But where the other?
We're all
on
on
deck.
top deck.
All on deck.
Yeah. Okay. What's wrong? Are they all right? How do you
They're
even know
fine.
about them?
Well, after our encounter in Green Nest, I did a bit of traveling. Was taken in by a dragon. Large silver dragon. You might be familiar with, Mira.
There aren't too many around. No.
No. She brought me back to Palin, and I spent some time there speaking with her and filling in the gaps in my knowledge and erasing some of the lies I'd been told about us and about our kind. After that, I thought it best that I take you up on your offer. So I headed to Oxenfurt with your card in hand. Didn't take me too long to find the Tempest Guild in the Night Hall. And at that point, there was also a man selling beans outside the front of your guild hall.
Oh, did you buy any?
I did, yes, I had a bean.
Do you suddenly have skills in embroidery now? Or?
No, mine's a bit stranger than that. I can change my eye color at will.
Oh.
That's not a bad thing. And
Embroidery
she'll
would
kind
have been more useful, strangely
That-
enough.
Well, depends if you have a fake eye or not. And she'll just indicate. She still doesn't know about the change in colour, by the way.
As Langdor responds, he goes,
Wait, what happened to your eye, Mira?
It's a long story.
Did one of these
Adventuring,
fuckers do it?
he looks around like,
Did one of these fuckers poke out your eye, Mira?
No, no, it's just adventuring,
Right. Well, I met with Azure again. He's managing the guild hall quite well, but bit vague, not so great with the fine detail planning. Very flaky, organizing meetings.
Oh, I wouldn't call him. He's just, he's earnest. Mira
Leosin
says
says,
earnestly.
Leosin goes,
My brother's always been better at big picture stuff, looking at it as a whole. Fine detail, that's where I come in. Quite. Well, I met with your Thurbolg friend. He had some questions about the proper hatching of dragon eggs. Together, we've been looking after them quite well. But I found out something interesting about these ones. They've been magically bound. They will not hatch until they meet a being or creature that is compatible with them, at which point they will be able to hatch. I brought one of them with me, hoping that perhaps we could try and hatch it.
Do you mean like it's a bonded person or another dragon or?
I'm not sure. This is some magic I've not seen before. And if I had known that the cult were doing this, I would have abandoned them long ago and brought the eggs with me. This is perversion of the natural hatching cycle. I
It's
am
not right.
absolutely livid.
I had hoped that we might be able to attract some of the dragons to our side if we told them about what was happening to their eggs.
Indeed. My fear is that they've been bound to the masks, that without the masks they cannot hatch. That's my fear. Or at
That
least
is-
a bearer of the masks.
Well, we have one of those, or an ex one, potentially.
One of the bearers of the masks. Who did you manage to capture?
Well, he used to be, Barum.
Varum, he spits. That greasy little pig fucker. That
Ah,
dwarf. Smashed 3 eggs. They were unworthy. At the time, I was not as free of thinking I'd been with the cult for far too long. But they were metallic eggs, and he had them destroyed.
That's terrible.
A travesty.
How did you get involved with them, Langdodrosa? That's... can't follow the crowd. And Mira will like bustle around again.
Right. Well, I hitched a ride on a merchant vessel.
And he points towards his waist where you see a bag of holding.
I have one of the eggs here with me.
Right, so what do you think? It's bonded to one of us, or?
I have no idea.
don't know
I
much
spoke
about
with
that.
your Furbolg friend. He suggested that we bring them out into the world. He's taken the 2 others, and I've brought this one.
Well, we are about to head somewhere with lots of dragons, potentially.
Aye?
May I see it? I just want to see it's okay.
Of course.
He reaches into his bag of holding and pulls out a blue dragon egg.
Yep, she just wants to just have a look at it, make sure it's okay.
Yeah, the scales are much shinier than you remember. It is
Hmm.
much more polished. You can see that it has actually grown a little bit in size, and the scaly markings all along the eggshell have become even more defined, which you know means it's close to hatching.
You can see
Oh.
that it's on the verge of hatching. But it
Yes.
hasn't. It's been like this for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Oh, if only. If only
Professor
Lyra was
Griswold,
here.
the gnome, was the one who was able to cast the spell to identify that the magic was in place on these things. He was the one who created this bag of holding.
What are you guys laughing about?
Nothing, keep
Suspicious.
going.
No, what are you laughing about? I need to know this.
Just look at the chat log.
Oh, wow. What the fuck? All right, pause that. We're going to come back to your thing. Don't worry. Jin and
No,
Shana,
no,
we
keep
will definitely
going.
come back to that. No, we're coming back to yours.
Yeah.
I've also brought some friends with me.
Oh.
New recruits to the guild. They've been with us
Ooh.
for a number of weeks. I've left them back on board the ship. Their job was to head further ahead and do a bit of scouting. Hoping that they've already left this morning to go and scout out the area of the ice.
Oh, that's wonderful. In this whole time, I've only recruited, like, these.
I didn't recruit these people.
Oh. Who did?
I've got no idea. I
Oh,
don't pay attention to that stuff, Mira, you know that.
right. Listen, Lady Drosa, thank you for helping us. That's quite a change of heart.
It's nothing. Now, unfortunately, I need to head back. Once I have made sure that you've rendezvoused with these 2 new recruits, take them with you. You and I will be heading back to Oxenford briefly.
Okay. Is there any trouble?
No, but you need to meet with our mutual friend, Silver Dragon. She needs to speak with you urgently. She is unable to travel at the moment. But don't
Political?
worry. Political. But you'll be able to get back here quicker. Griswold gave me something else. You'll need to give this to one of your companions who's staying behind.
And he reaches into his bag and pulls out this large scroll on this very intricate vellum. And as he unfurls it, you can see that it is a massive, massive circle of runes.
Teleportation circle. 1-time use. Travel 2 only. You'll be able to get back here. I have another one to get us to Oxenford faster.
This does sound dire.
Yes, this has cost the guild quite a bit of money to get these set up. This is all Griswold's been focusing on for the last little bit. Well, that and my bag of holding.
Very nice. Okay.
Come.
Yes.
Introduce me to your new companions. I'd like to know
Right.
who I'm sharing a guild with now that I am officially a member of the Tempest Guild.
And he pulls aside a section of his armor and reveals the insignia of the lightning bolt through the cloud.
Yes.
Oh, we have uniforms.
Aye. Something that Azua has been working on. It was a high priority for him.
Right. He does have his priorities. Anyway, that's wonderful, Lady Drosa. And even though we kind of re-met awkwardly, I guess it was fun last night?
Do you remember much of last night?
No.
No, me either. I'm assuming
Okay.
it was fun, though.
Let's leave it at that. Yes, let's see. I'm not sure what they're doing.
No, but I can hear the sound of laughter coming from up those stairs.
I'm about to smash it in spine.
You guys been walking up the stairs. Quick jump back in time. Jin,
So yeah,
Lockie, Shana. Oh, good lord. Okay.
Scrapple has been doing.
So let's quickly check this. So Shana wants to play for the hat. You're gonna play dice for the hat. So you guys start playing for the hat.
dice.
Yeah.
I offered gold. She said hat. We both rolled 22.
Okay.
I rolled a 20. She rolled a 22.
Yeah.
So we're playing for the hat.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have a dice game in mind, Owen. Actually, if you don't mind me suggesting it. I was listening to a
Dead Man's
podcast
Dice?
called. It's called Another Dead Man. It's called Not Another D&D podcast.
Yep.
And we roll 4d6, and whoever has the high. So basically, you roll 4d6, and you see the result you get, and then you can either keep it, and then the person who gets lower has to roll again.
That's
but they have to take a
Dead
dice
Man's
away.
Dice. We've done that before on this stream. Yeah.
Oh, is it? I thought
Yeah, it's Dead Man's Dice.
Fine, let's do that.
All right.
I have no idea how to play.
I think Lockie will shrink himself and join in.
Otherwise, Blackjack's also a really easy one for.
Yeah, Lockie can get into
Blackjack's
it too.
easy too.
Yep. Let's do this.
Did you want to do Blackjack or Dead Man's Dice?
The Dead Man's Dice sounds fun.
Done.
All right. So what do you do?
I
will do
want
one
Swabby
thing.
to explain the rules as Swabby.
Yes, please.
Just quickly as well,
Yes.
Shana doesn't know this. Lockie might. I've changed. Remember how Lockie gave me loaded dice?
You've got loaded dice, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember. I remember.
Unfortunately, Lockie does remember.
I have made them look a little different, so Lockie doesn't immediately realize what they are. But I'm going to play with my loaded dice.
Would I be
Okay.
able to?
You can definitely
Lockie?
have a look.
I'd like you to roll me an insight check. Or a perception. Insight or perception, your choice. See if you recognize your dice.
Yeah. All right. I'll roll perception.
At that point, a whoosh of wings from above as Emmerich swoops in on the back of a green dragon.
Oh, shit.
No.
And I will
10.
add a flash of genius. That's 14.
I'm
14.
going to cutting words that.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, go on. Go on. Cutting words. Go on.
4, so it's 10.
It's 10. Lockie, I'm really sorry. I set the DC as 12. You don't recognize these dice. Like, you're like, oh, it's very good that Jin's not using those loaded dice I made for him. Thank God. What an asshole. I can't believe you
sort of
cutting
says-
words, Stu. What a dick.
I sort of, yes, I'll go,
Yeah.
Yar! How about we play some dice?
Lockie's like, I'm not playing dice with you. And then he pulls out dice. You're like, those dice seem okay.
Yes. Let's you check those dice.
As Jin's like, don't look at these
They're
dice.
not the same as the ones I gave you. That is fine.
I imagine
Yeah,
Jin's
it's sort of-
cutting word is like, you can't see me dice. And you're like, well, that checks out.
I scratch behind my ear as I sort of he looks at my dice and he like
Yep.
decides they're not his. And I go, well, Yar, let's play some Dead Man's Dice. The rules be roll 4d6, and then if you don't like your total, you have to roll again, but you have to take away a dice. It gets harder to beat the others, but you might get lucky with an 18 and beat the top score. What shall we play for? I suggest 10 gold.
Fucking hell.
And that's when Shana would probably go,
The hat.
I want the hat.
Yar, you want me hat?
That.
Right, that checks out.
No, let's play for some dice. That's some gold.
I
I guess
definitely-
you-
Oh, come on.
Come
I
on.
would have put snakes under it.
I'm
That'd be fun.
I'm sort of sitting there like, all right, you play for me hat. But how about we throw 5 gold in for a pot?
All right.
Sure.
I'll do that.
Perfect. Yar, let's go.
Right.
Is everyone ready to play?
46, eh?
4d6, eh?
4d6.
So do we show each other what they are?
Yes, you can always see them.
Yes.
So, are you ready?
Yar, let's get
Cora's joining the stream. Hey, Papa.
Aw.
Being attacked by a puppy dog.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
All right. 3, 2, 1,
Aiden.
shoot.
Oh, lucky.
So I roll like 4
Lucky.
sixes.
I'm definitely going to roll again, so I'll roll 3d6.
Do you actually roll 4 6s, Jin, with your loaded dice?
So how's the loaded dice work? Actually, I should ask Lockie. Is it always going to be a 6, or is it going to be like a 5 and a 6?
Yeah, no, it'll be a 5 or 6 because if you make loaded dice that roll the highest pips every time, you're going to get beat up.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay, so
mine is
yeah,
going
actually,
to
there's actually a loaded dice rule set for D&D 5e.
Is there?
Yeah, when using loaded dice, a creature proficient with the dice, but don't worry about that, can freely choose to roll one of the 3 combinations: 5 and 5, 4 and 6, or 5 and 6. But you have to roll a D100 to see if you're successful in getting the 5 or the 6. So there's the 4, 5, or 6. So there is a 20% chance of the 4, a 40% chance of the 5, and a 40% chance of the 6.
Okay. So
So do you want to roll me 4 D100s to see which
Okay.
numbers you get?
that's fine.
So 72 is a 6, 19 is a 4. So I'll write these out so that we've got them in the chat so that you can see
Yep.
them. So 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 5 for a total of 21, I believe. Yep. There you go.
Perfect. Yara, keep that score, methinks. Oh, Lockie, that be rough.
What a
I
piece of
tried
shit.
again, I got a bit better. What can you do?
So technically, I think Shana would have to roll again because she can't beat a 21.
Yeah. Sorry. So
Oh, you
so
can't
it's
even really. You
3.
can't even beat a 21.
No, you
You
can't
can't.
beat 21.
You've instantly won.
Oh, yuck.
6.
Oh, Lady Luck not be shining. I keep me hat and I take the pot.
As this happens, Lame Dedrosa, Leosin, and Mira step on deck and see Jin like sweeping the gold into his hat, jamming it on his head.
I'm gonna
Can
add 10 gold.
Shana still try and sneak a snake under there, like a friendly snake?
What do you,
Just to
hang on,
try and
wait,
bring them
no. Where's this
Friendly
snake coming
snake.
from?
Hang on 1 second. Sorry.
Are you gonna summon?
them.
Are you gonna conjure woodland creatures to get a snake under his head?
No. It's gonna be back by my dog. Where did my that was so bad. Sorry, I just need an alt tab back to my. I think she's actually murdered my mouse.
Oh,
That's
no.
hilarious.
There we are. Okay, sorry. Don't mind me. Sorry, what she can do is she has them at will to summon snakes, essentially.
What the
Oh, because you
I'm
on
trying
T.
to find- Yeah. Animal friendship at will.
All right, hang on. Let's just. I just want to double check the rules around this so that we're not going to get in trouble.
Wait, does that mean there needs to be a snake there to animal
That's
friendship?
what I wanted to double check. What does it say
Or do you actually
specifically?
materialize it?
No,
That's pretty
because
funny.
I imagine that she's like calling them to her, snakes in the environment, not just summoning it into
Like there could be like a little sea snake.
A sea snake.
a sea snake. Yes, I will say yes,
Get her to roll a percentile dice to see if
because
there's
it's
one
animal
around.
friendship. You're not conjuring an animal; it's animal friendship. So you'd have to find a snake.
Oh,
So
wait,
actually,
get her to
no,
roll
that's
a
not how that
percentile
works.
dice.
All right, go on then. Roll a percentile dice.
Let's see if there's one around.
Roll a percentile dice.
Choose-
I'm giving it a 15% chance a sea snake is just there,
Oh.
right next to you.
Is that it? Is that good or bad?
15%, that 85 and above is 15%.
Nice, there's one around.
As Shana leans over the deck of the ship, by some crazy coincidence, a sea snake comes up and is like nibbling a bit of like chum that's come over the deck, like maybe a bit of cooking fat from Mira's bacon that she's been preparing has like been chucked over the deck, and a little sea snake's come up and is nibbling it. And you cast animal friendship on it, and then like lean your tail down, and it wriggles up your tail, and then you fling it at Jin.
Fling it.
And Jin, a snake flies and like lands in your lap. Sea snake.
I just sit there staring at it, just not moving a muscle.
It leans up
I'm
and licks
just
your
in
nose.
shock.
Yeah, it leans up and licks your nose.
It licks my nose. You know what? Let's see. Let's roll the What would I roll? Like a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah,
to
go
see
on.
if I
Wisdom
freak
saving
out.
throw.
Let's
It was
do
more
10.
I wanted to try and sneak it under
So-
his hat. Like
so
it's a
9
pigeon.
Oh wait, so is it getting flung at me or is it getting snuck in?
All right, we can go with either. I just in my mind I'm like, how are you doing this? Like you're like slithering over the side. Like the timeline of you to get this snake into his hat is so small. To like locate the snake, cast Animal Friendship, and summon it. So you just by the time you turn around to sneak it, he's got the hat on, and you just end up like putting it in his lap.
Okay.
Go on, make a whiz save. Let's get this over and done with.
Anything so 9 and below, I'll freak out. 10 and above, I'm just in shock. 4, I freak out. So basically, I just sort of sit there. It licks my nose, and I just jump up. Some of the
snake
coins
overboard.
Spill out of my hat. I just pick it up by its tail and fling it overboard.
You just watch as Jin just like yeets this snake back into the water.
Yard, what you be up to, you sneaky bugger? And I pick up the coins again.
Langdodrosa like stands up having ducked. Langdodrosa ducks
No,
the snake fly
it
overhead.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say I accidentally fling it at Langdodrosa.
No, you fling it over his head and he ducks and then he stands up and he's like,
perfect.
Normally, it's politeness not to just throw snakes at people on deck of a ship.
I point at Shana.
Bit of a ragtag group you've got here, Mira.
Not be the makings of me. And I point at
Mira.
Shana.
Bit of a ragtag group you've got here, isn't it?
Look, well, he's a consultant, first of all.
How much are you paying him? Because whatever it is, I'm telling you now, it's too much.
Okay. Everyone's
Sort of-
playing the Drosa.
I walk forward and I do another flourish of my hat as I already have. And I go, Yar! I be part of an associate here be of the Tempest Guild. You
What's
have
your
come,
name, sailor?
Swabby Seabird at your service.
Langdodrosa, the blue.
shakes your hand.
He offers his hand.
And you, serpent lady, not seen your kind before.
Hello, I'm Shauna. There are many of us in the jungle south. It's nothing new.
Right.
Happy to meet you.
Langdodrosa. Likewise.
He shakes your hand.
How do you know our friend Mira?
Well, funny story. I was
Beat us
working
back
for
to the
cult.
boat. You must have made good time.
Yeah, we came back a
I
little bit earlier.
I will nudge Shana and go, yeah, I'll be making him breakfast after a night well, I just sort of laugh.
Night well
Just sort of-
spent, huh?
I'm just looking at Mira with like a knowing look.
Well,
I know it didn't happen that way, but I've taken it that way.
Yeah, Shauna's taking it that way too.
bit of a funny story. I was working for the Cult of Dragons at the time, and I was guarding a hatchery. Raided a small town that they defended, and I know Mira from a bit before that, but long story short, she convinced me that working for the cult was not in my interests nor the interests of my people.
Huh. Just taking the wind out of
And
my
this is how
sails a little
you
bit.
ended up in her bedroom this
No.
morning?
I got really drunk and couldn't find somewhere to sleep, so she tried to hide me so that I wouldn't wake everybody up. I knocked myself out on the corner of the bed and fell asleep on the floor.
Sure. And Shauna just does a very obvious way. She's just like, no, I've been around the block a few times. You don't have to hide things with me. I know how you fellow reptiles are.
Yeah, she would know too because she'd be mighty old. She know every
I'm
trick
not
in the
sure.
book.
I'm not sure I understand. What are you insinuating?
I don't know how old she be, but I think 500 plus years. She would definitely know.
What you're insinuating is really weird. Mira is like a sister to me. That's a bit fucked. What is wrong with you people?
Mira's kind of blushed pink and silver.
You'd be so red right now.
These people really worry me. Is this
Very
really
cool.
an
You're cooking enough breakfast to feed literally half a battalion.
is this really an improvement on the others? Even that fucked up knight in the green armor who shouted a lot.
Look,
He seemed more capable than this old fart.
Points at Swabby.
I take it in stride.
At least he had a halberd.
Yeah, I wonder whatever happened to Emmerich. I wonder if he's still alive.
You didn't hear?
No?
He's in jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was imprisoned for trying to cut the head off one of the other guild members. Not our guild, one of the other guilds, the League of Adventurers.
Oh.
They told him he'd never fly on the back of a dragon. He was at one of the mess halls drinking.
Oh.
What does that mean? Where's the dragon egg he has then? That's out of game.
Oh yeah, he took a dragon egg, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
He's under house
speaking
arrest.
of qualified though, and so Mira will indicate to Lockie.
Hello
Yes. Hello there.
Is it Warforged? No, Giant Forged.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, my the nomenclature for my kind seemed misplaced. I was not created for war, apparently. I was created long ago by giants.
Oh,
I generally don't
and
trust
I'm
constructs.
Well, that's your loss, I'm afraid. I'm not actually a construct. I am my own being. I have my own soul. And if you would like me to prove it to you, I can kick your ass up and down this ship.
Ooh.
Oh. Langdedrosa gets a smile. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Lockie, is it? Pleasure to meet you. It's a handout.
Pleasure to meet you.
Good to see someone with actual backbone. I'm assuming
know what
yours
I'll
is
do?
carbon plated and cast in metal. Excellent.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take. He's throwing a bit of shade to me. I'm going to jump up on like the sort of
Because you
side
look
of
like
the ship.
an old
I know.
decrepit sailor.
I'm going to like
he
jump.
respects strength, and you're like, rah!
I'm going to jump on the side of the ship, like sort of like this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, Yar! Don't count Sobby Seabeard out just yet. And I will summon from my hand my umbral blade and sort of like thrust it near his throat.
Oh shit! Okay. Yeah. As you pull your shadow up and summon it as the blade, a second later, Langdedrosa's greatsword is blocking the sword right in front of the blade as he spins around and holds it and goes,
Interesting. Perhaps I discounted you too soon, Seaman.
I will sort of let it as it's like.
"Are you really laughing at that, Michael?"
Sorry.
I just saw Michael's eyes go wide. He was like, "Don't laugh." Covers his face. I'll change it.
Do you
What I'm
really?
going to do is though, as I'm sort of like holding it against him and he's blocking it, I'm going to let the sword come back into my hand and just vanish, and then I do a flourish, and look, let's go with an acrobatics check because
Yeah, go on.
from the 14.
14, yeah.
It's not super crash hot, so it will be graceful, but I'll just come down gracefully. I'm not going. That's not enough for me to do a backflip.
Right. Fair enough. It seems you do have some worth in combat, Mariner.
Is that better, Michael?
Yes.
No, Seaman is better.
He's a showman.
He looks the sort of way.
He's a showman.
Right.
Well, I guess I better show my true form.
Wait,
And I
what?
sort of look around, make sure there's no one looking.
It's just you guys on
Any
the
of
deck
the-
of the ship at this point.
Yeah,
You, Leos,
like,
and
just make sure
the
there's
rest
no other like people in like passing by and stuff.
Oh,
and
you
I
could
sort
just
of
duck
drop.
behind the cabin if you wanted to really quickly.
Yeah, I'll quickly like just wait a quick sec, and then I like walk out, and then I walk back in as a Lyrian. Well,
That could be
this
useful.
is better.
Now I see your
Oh,
value.
I feel a bit more comfortable.
Very good.
One day
Some
I
sort
would
of shape
still steal
changer.
that hat.
Some sort of shape changer then. Interesting. Very useful. Is that magic or physical? Both.
Physical. But I'm not
Excellent.
sure on the exact sort of parameters of it, I guess.
That'll come in handy infiltrating the cult's ranks. Excellent.
Already has.
Yes, I imagine. Although you should know, all of you, that your descriptions are now being widely circulated. Cult know who you are, and they're preparing for you when you next try and intercept. You've been able to go under the radar for quite some time, but your recent escapades at the Tomb of Diderus.
I'm going to ask you a quick thing. I have one quick question for you. Do
Yes.
you know the origin? What happened to Born Grey?
Borngray. He was the leader of one of the
The castles.
castles, I think, yes.
Did anyone ever find out what happened to him? Or truly?
I left the cult long before you interacted with Borngray. I've got no idea.
Apologies.
I do
You
look
need to
forward
ask
to
one of the
finding out
hard
what
ones if
happened
you want to
there.
know spy stuff.
Well, I am one. I am part of that
Well
organization.
then, you should know the answer to your question.
I have to reconvene
Fair enough.
with my colleagues.
Well, what's your plan? I assume you're going for the horn, the Drakhorn.
That is the plan.
I figured
Yes.
that'd be your next step. Hence why I came to Drifthaven. Everything drifts through eventually.
I will sort of bring everyone in and go, just one quick thing I wanted to add for everyone here present. I've noticed that you guys throw around the name Jinn quite,
Freely.
what's the word, freely. As a Illyrian, try your best to use Illyrian, please. I don't want to give up my current visage and persona.
I'm happy for the purposes of RP, just because it can be hard to remember when you've
it
got
can
like,
be
19
really
different
hard.
names.
That's fair.
If anyone ever, I from now on, I will assume you guys get his cover names correct. And also
It
for
would
people
make
listening,
sense too, 'cause
if you're using different
that'd
names
probably be-
between sessions, I'm happy
Yeah.
for them to call you Jin, and I'll remember that they're using your correct cover name. We won't have any of that situation of like, Mira was it? That's an interesting name. I'll
'Cause,
I'll
like,
keep
I
in
guess,
mind that I
like-
use your cover names.
Well, the Mira thing makes sense because I could see how that could be bungled. But like, yeah, the Illyrian thing, it can be pretty hard for everyone here because they probably just see Jinn as Jinn, and that's what they've come accustomed to.
They don't see the world through
But
that.
I guess, but in the other lens, when they're playing characters, they would actually see Illyrian walking around. So
Yeah, exactly. So
Cool.
we'll keep it in
That
mind.
ha- that helps a lot.
I'll keep that in mind heading forward to make life easy.
Perfect.
Right. Well, a few things you need to know if you're heading north for the Drakhorn. There are a number of dragons that are going to be there. I know for a fact that a white dragon seen flying away from a flying castle, one that you had something to do with, headed north not too long after. More than that, there's a blue dragon there too, a large one. I would
What
be
do you-
prepared for danger.
Well, we don't know much about the Dracolich horn, the horn that's summoning them now.
Drakhorn.
The Dracon. I don't know why people call it Dracolich. Ugh.
That's what the cult originally tried to do, was make Dracoliches not a strange problem to get mixed up in your mind.
Well, whatever they're doing with them, I wonder if we disrupt the Dracon, whether that will make these dragons more amenable to reason, or we could convince them. That was my hope.
The Drakhorn
wonder-
is merely a means of summoning dragons to a location, alerting them of the return of Tiamat. I'm hoping that by destroying the device, or at least taking a capture, we can prevent a rallying cry sounding throughout the lands. Oh yes, sorry, Lockie.
So no, finish what you were saying. I was going to
No,
pile on.
that's basically it. I want to make sure that no more dragons are called to her side when she returns.
That's a good
But
point.
we need our own rallying cry. This is not just dragons versus the world. We should have our own say. Or they should have their own say.
I wonder if it's not able to, if we would not be able to, with some experimentation, obviously, either dampen the Drakhorn's call through destructive interference, or perhaps co-opt it for our own purposes. I mean, if it can
Yes.
call around the world, it would be a very powerful device to do what you said, to call for our own
Yes,
side.
if we could change the tone or change the frequency, then yes. I imagine we could change it from a cry of despair and a cry of hopelessness for all people to a rallying cry to summon people to fight when we need them. I don't see why not. Personally,
just-
I would be destroying it. It's a powerful artifact.
We just need to know more about it. Perhaps when I go back to Oxenfurt. Oh yes, that was the other thing, everyone.
Going to Oxenfurt?
Yes, my mentor is in need of some assistance, I think. And she would also be a very powerful ally with this idea in mind. Honestly, it's the only hope that I have left.
Yes, the
I
gnome
don't know why I didn't think of her sooner.
The gnome Griswold has prepared some teleportation circles. Quite a powerful artificer, that one.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
If we use these teleportation circles, could we go to Oxenfurt and come back to this sky barge and continue on our journey?
So I can transport 3 people there and 3 people back. Magic's limited. It's not a true teleportation circle.
Gosh.
I was planning on heading back with Mira, and I asked for 1 more position in case of any need to travel. Be safe.
I mean, I wouldn't mind taking some time to do a little bit of research. I have some new information come to light about the giants. Perhaps I can give you a hand?
I mean, I guess I know that you were effectively. Well, yes, I think it's been a bit hard this last few weeks with everything that's been happening, and I think we need more information. We need more allies.
Yes.
I think we both could do that. Yes, that's a
I
good
can tell
idea.
you now, Warforged or Giant Forged, Griswold will be very keen to see you. You look fairly unique for a Warforged, Giant Forged.
Oh, I thank you. I have an oil regime.
Excellent.
Of course it does.
As long as that enables you to hit things harder, I approve. Soundly.
Oh yes, and it stops me seizing up, so it's perfect.
Good. The only reason a warrior should seize up is because of equipment that is damaged, not fear or poorly maintained equipment. I'm pleased to hear that you maintain yourself well.
Whenever I can.
Well, if this is the case, we won't be very long. But
A
other
few days
members
at most.
and other members of the guild will assist. This is
I've already brought
the
them with
idea
me.
of the guild.
They're scouting ahead. They're fairly new. I was hoping this could be some sort of internship.
Oh, Langdadrosa. I didn't introduce you. Where's Barry?
Barry's
Oh my god.
basically below deck with Leosin, who's like seen you guys having a moment and has walked away to give you guys a bit of space.
Okay. Never mind. Maybe not.
It is.
I will teach you the
mildly
ways of
funny that-
blood and sword.
Yeah, I
Small
was just thinking
human.
about that. Yeah. Sorry, Shana.
I'm very happy to help out with the guild stuff, especially since it, aligns with our original plan. But you're leaving new guild recruits with 3 people that aren't in the guild.
Oh, I'm sending help as well, don't worry.
Fair enough, just making sure I'm not teaching them the wrong things.
Oh no, Azua said he himself would like to come. Keep an eye on you for a couple of days. He's one of the founding members along with Mira.
Fair enough.
I sort of say, I've been here long enough to, I can steer the ship. I've been around here for a fair while now.
Did you have Leosin as well?
Precisely. We should be fine, I'm sure.
Just watch out for that front left engine, it's still attacking.
I will, yes, tell Arvel about it and, well, we can get him to check it.
Well,
Shauna just looks slightly worried at that engine now.
Oh, it's okay. Just if he's going to actually repair it, just watch over. He gets slightly over enthusiastic sometimes, so he can overcomplicate things.
well, no time like the present. Are you two ready?
Yes, well, we won't be long. We won't be very long. Are you all right to navigate? Where's... Actually, we've got a ranger. You'll be fine.
Specializes in jungles. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
One quick question for you, Owen. Did
Yeah.
Yervith have to do a carousal roll?
Yervith did, and Yervith is not with you.
Cool.
Whoa.
I can't wait to find out what
Okay.
happened to Matt next week.
First order of business.
I can't wait for Matt to find out what happened to Yervith.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait to find out what happened to him.
Yervith's role was
fishing.
almost as good as Mira's,
Oh no.
Perfect.
Oh, no.
but I'm not going to
I
be
can't wait.
as chilled with Matt as I was with Mira. I'm like, yeah, no, let's make this as fucked as possible. Let's have fun with Yervith.
Yes.
Oh no.
I
What's going to happen
also-
to our characters when we're not here?
I also added a flaw to my features and traits called or description. My floor is loves to carouse.
Nice. You've
So
acquired a new.
that is a
new
thing
floor.
now.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's a really good thing to do is update your floors as you go on in the adventure and things change.
Well,
and
let's
you-
be honest. Gin is really let loose, and it ties into the gambling really well.
It does really well. Yeah, Langdodressa sort of turns back around as Leos and steps back on the deck and goes, right, so, Mira, Lockie, it's going to be very strange not having you on the ship.
You'll be fine. This is.
I'm sure.
I think this is actually. This is going to be important. This is something. This has been a break I've been needing. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but
Yes.
it seems so far away.
It's going to be good to see my brother again, too. It's been a bit of time since we last spoke.
Yes, it would be good to see Azua.
Yes, I'll make sure he sticks around when you return. Well, actually,
You know what?
you'll
I
need
might
to
actually
bring...
also bring Barry with us. Just safekeeping.
Langdodressa looks and goes, that might be a bit complicated. The teleportation circle, it depends on whether it interprets Lockie as live or not.
Oh, good point.
I sort of put my hand around Barry's shoulder and go, "It's okay, Mira. I'll teach him all the fun magic."
We can keep up with his studies. We can teach him the fun.
Oh no.
Shaman is on the other shoulder as well, just like both of them.
Oh my
So,
god,
like, it's okay. We should look after him.
Oh,
Barry's like,
no.
yeah, I'll learn lots of great stuff from Auntie Shana and Uncle Jin, Uncle Illyrian. They'll teach me loads of good things. Don't worry, Mira. I'll do all the homework. You'll come back and I'll know lots of cool magic. They're gonna teach me shadow magic, Mira. I'm gonna pledge my soul to Varus Nightblood.
Yeah, you are. That's exactly
Varus
what I'm
Nightshade.
thinking.
Or the Dreaming Dark. The Dreaming Dark is also an option.
Yeah, that's a great name.
valid.
Yeah. No, it is. He doesn't say any of that. He goes, I'll keep up with the homework you set me, Mira. I'll be good.
I also use one of my magical tinkering things and create a little it's almost like a what they call a blacksmith's puzzle.
Ooh,
So
like
there are
a
lots of-
series of wires that you have to kind of untangle, like bits of metal.
Yeah, a
that
series
are-
of wires. Also things that like twist and lock and change,
Yep.
and you've got to like shift and shuffle them around as well.
Nice.
Now remember, if you're getting confused and you're getting a little bit lost, refocus your mind and work on this.
I could do that. Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely. I'll work hard.
And there is something hidden for you inside of it. See if you can find it.
Is it sweets? I fucking love sweets.
Now,
Leosin sort of looks and goes, where
No
did you
need to
learn that
swear.
word, young man? Gracia keeps saying it. She taught me, said I could say it whenever I want. She called it a universal adverb. As in you add it to words.
Nice.
It's not wrong.
We are on a ship after all.
I
She
can
taught
tell
me
you,
lots of great words. There's another one that starts with C. And Leosin puts his hand over his mouth and goes, yeah, that's quite enough out of you, young man. Below deck. You're swabbing the
sort of
decks
say-
tonight, young sir.
I sort of look at Mira and go, "See, Mira, nothing to be worried about at all."
Well,
Mira,
as I said, we won't be long.
Mira, how are you feeling about leaving Barry with Shana and Jin?
And Gracia.
Podcast listeners, Claire
No.
is shaking her head emphatically. She's not happy yet, I think.
Sorcerer does not want to leave. Sorcerer's apprentice with warlocks. No, definitely no.
You're gonna come back and he's gonna have like one black shadowed hand and a
Yeah.
tattoo of a hand on his face. Look what Jim got me! I got a tattoo. Tattoos are cool.
Oh no.
one of his legs is going to be a snake.
Yeah.
not a snake tail. One of his legs is a snake's head. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what this is, but Shana said it would help me with my magic.
I can speak puzzle math now.
It's so possible.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
the
the
side
dresses
effect
of
is though,
Oh, yeah.
he'll be able to play the lute as well, so that's good.
Well, the
Well-
dresser sort of looks at Barry and goes, Mira, you appear to be caring for this small human.
Yes. He's a trainee for the guild.
Right. It sort of, Langdodressa looks down at this small child and then gets on one knee and looks him in the eyes. You doing what Mira says? Yes, sir. Everything she says? Yes, sir. Good. Stands up again. nods, pats him on the head, and then looks a bit awkward.
Oh, look, we'll be back in a flash.
We'll also be gone in the flash, looking.
Oh yes. Oh, okay. Yes, true.
Right. The two guild members, two trainees, I told them to find you once they had done some scouting ahead. I believe they'll be in touch with you shortly. Do you have a guide to show you through the ice?
Yes.
Good. Well then. Mira, Lockie, we best be off.
Very good.
With that, Langdodrosa unrolls the teleportation circle on the deck of the ship and weights it down with some stones from his pocket in the four corners.
Stand at the center.
Three of you stand there.
What was the gnome said? Alaka wham. Sham.
And then the portal just goes like a moonbeam, and you watch as like this giant burst of light shines from the scroll. The scroll burns to ash in a second, leaving a tattoo of this teleportation circle, this burned scorch mark on the deck of the ship in the shape of the teleportation circle. As the light shoots up, it begins taking on these rainbow colors and disappears into the sky above. A cloud that was unfortunately positioned right above the teleportation circle has a hole burst out of it as the cloud is shattered and sent away. Leosin sort of looks down the ship and goes, that's not going to buff out easy, is it?
Hey, now the ship has a tattoo too.
Oh yeah. I was meaning to ask about that, Jin.
I sort of stare off and...
Illyrian,
Oh,
sorry.
yes. Huh. That is... I sort of like unfeel my shirt and go, oh, this did happen. Huh.
As you guys look at the tattoo, it's no longer Swabby Seabeard tattoo.
Oh.
It's now Illyrian tattoo.
That's
on the
cool.
chest as it shifts and
That's
warps
cool.
with his form.
Nice.
That's not quite how I remember it, Jin. There were Illyrian, sorry. There were only two Chimera, weren't there?
When I get into it, I tend to like just a little bit of elaboration. I might have elaborated another Manticore in there, or maybe not. I'm not sure. Last night was a blur.
Fair enough then. And with that, the camera pans out away from Jin and Shana, the rest of the crew as we pan back, and shoots up through the same teleportation circle that Mira and Lockie took. Mira and Lockie, you feel this lurch as the whole world shifts around you and you feel yourselves being pulled upwards and outwards. Gravity seems to shift around you, and for a moment, you feel weightless, before suddenly gravity pulls you back down again. And with a sudden rush, Mira, you find yourself in the familiar Night Hall, the main arcane tower. Griswold standing there tapping his feet, this small gnomish gentleman. Large moustache and a little powder beard as you sort of step out of the light.
Langdodrosa, excellent. Appears that worked quite well, didn't it?
Oh, sorry, no, that wasn't what Griswold sounded like.
What? Professor Griswold, that's what
That's him.
No, I prefer the gnome voice. I'm gonna stick with the new gnome voice.
Yes, that worked quite well, didn't it?
Yes. With that, Langdodrosa just walks out of the room.
Well, bye-bye. Mira, it's been some time since I last saw you. How are you doing? You look well. Hang on a minute. What's that in your eye?
It's a long story. I'll look at Lockie.
He like pulls out a cane with a walking stick, holds it up around your neck, and pulls your head down towards him to have a closer look.
That's pretty good workmanship, I have to say. Nice craftsmanship. It's been enchanted quite nicely. Well, who did this marvelous piece of work? I would very much like to meet him and shake his hand.
You just look at Lockie.
Look at Lockie.
Hello there.
Bye.
Speak of the Warforged.
He holds his hand up to shake your hand, Lockie.
Oh, good show.
For those meeting Professor Griswold for the first time, a very short gnome of indeterminate age, blonde swept back hair tied in a ponytail. It looks like his hair's grown and he's swept it back and looking a bit cooler. Massive blonde moustache with a small beard underneath. Massive arcane goggles strapped to his head that have a number of filters that are currently out and in different positions. Long coat with bits of wire string metal just stapled to it, and his cloak has approximately 1 million pockets as it swings around to shake your hand. You see, Lockie, there's just pockets lining every square inch of the inside of his cloak.
Very nicely done, very nicely done. Hey, wait a minute. You're not Warforged. You're far older than that. Look at this, you've got cogs and wheels. They actually do things, oh my goodness.
And he starts climbing up the side of you, Lockie, and like looking inside.
Oh, Griswold, what do we say about manners in sub?
Shh, I'm doing science. Quiet.
Oh,
It's. Oh, that was interesting.
What does this do?
He like tweaks a little corner, and Lockie, your entire chest piece falls off and lands on the floor.
Oh my! Quick release. Interesting.
Yes, I did need that. I am going to. Could you just put that back, please?
Fine. Jumps down, mage hand, moves it back
thank
up,
you.
and attaches it.
No, yes, you moved my voice matrix. It's fine.
Apologies for that. Mira,
no.
I believe an old friend is looking forward to speaking with you downstairs. Lockie, could you stay here with me for a moment? I would very much like to have a bit of a look at your design, if that's okay.
Oh, yes, most certainly. I would like to see the goggles which you have made and are using.
I'll tell you what, I'll do a deal. You can put these on while I have a bit of a poke inside around of you. How does that sound?
I'm flattered. Sure.
It's your first time having an artificer inside of you, so I'll be gentle.
He puts his goggles on you and then tips you over and begins like getting out a whole bunch of tools.
Now this won't hurt one bit.
As he begins like moving around and detaching parts inside of you.
You really should buy me dinner first, but that's fine.
Yeah. Mira, as you head downstairs, you see a very familiar form. Beard has grown out a little bit. It's now full, not just the chin strap beard, is now proper, sort of like a full beard. Is a very familiar face, standing 6 feet tall, dark hair swept back in these very elegant yellow and orange robes, is your good friend Azure. Quarterstaff on his back. Mira, how are you doing? Wrapped up in a big hug. Been too long. Well, you'll be very impressed with what we've been doing here. Many heroics have been taking place in the Tempest Adventuring Guild. We have got a number of rooms ready. You are going to feel like you're at home once again.
It's wonderful to see you as well, and well done about the uniforms.
And did you like the airship I purchased? We're absolutely broke, but it's a nice airship, isn't it?
Oh no. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have left you just in charge. Oh, okay.
Yes, you left me in charge of all the money. That was very brave of you.
Thank you.
I hope you've been getting lots of treasure. We're going to need it.
Okay. Let's get a drink, Azure.
Sounds good. But before we do, Yes, no, let's grab a drink first. I'll meet up with the others later. I was going to teleport back, but I'll teleport at some point in the future.
Yes, we've only just come back.
Yes,
We need to catch up.
Exactly. Wiltix, how's he doing? I haven't heard from him.
Neither have we.
My. Roguish little imp. Where's he gone?
I'm sure he's off doing something diabolical.
Did you hear about Emmerich?
I did.
Yes, he's still got the egg with him. It's all hush hush.
We need to get that back.
Nice. You're never getting that back.
Yes, I believe he's trying to hatch it. He wants a mount.
That's apparently not going to happen.
Yes, Langdodrosa told you.
Yes. Yes, I need to talk to. Yes, we need to get as many friends around us as possible, I think.
Yes, well, I've been recruiting.
Have you? Do you
Yes.
need more business cards?
You need more business cards. He takes you over to a sideboard and pulls open an entire drawer just filled with business cards.
Yes.
And I've got Professor Griswold working on a very important thing. It's an infinite business card dispenser. It connects to a demi-plane with infinite business cards. It cost us about 30,000 gold, but it's worth every penny.
Money.
30,000 gold.
Yes, it's a expensive research.
Oh my god.
I knew you'd be impressed. Lost for words. That's exactly what I thought you'd be. Stunned.
Oh, Azure, I've missed you.
As have I. Missed you, not me. I've missed me, I guess.
Oh, yes.
And with that, we will wrap up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Awesome session. So that was the last time you'll see Claire and Michael this year, but they will be back next year.
You will indeed.
They're contractually obliged. They have to return next year. Or the bomb collar that I've put around their legs will go off. So we'll be seeing them, both of them as well. I wanted to be sure. Yeah. So we will be seeing both of you guys. It's the 3rd week of Jan, isn't it?
Yes.
4th week of Jan, I think.
Once we're back in civilization,
Yep.
we'll get in touch.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, absolutely. We'll go through what Lockie and Mira learn and discover and do with their little bit of time at Oxenfurt. And for the next little bit, we're going to have Ali, Jared, and Matt, as well as our 2 guest characters, Jacob and Tom, will be coming along for a couple of adventures as we start heading into the sea of moving ice proper. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody.
Whee!
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Lovely to have you on board. Thank you so much for jumping into chat if you've joined us live or if you're listening to the podcast or on YouTube. Thank you so much. Make sure to give that like button a hit. Comment below your favorite D&D memory. Just any D&D memory. Just comment one. Anyone at all. Tell us a story about your D&D in the comments. If you want to hit us up on Facebook or on Twitter, you can find us at the Lost Archives on Facebook, Archives Lost Twitter. We are really keen for some fan art. You'll have seen some fan art playing in the bottom corner of the screen all through the night. That's all been done by our lovely player Ali, who has done some really cool moments of the stream and of the show, including one of my personal favorites, the "He's Crazy."
Yeah, that's a great one.
Varys with Jin. I really enjoyed that. So that's a really cool moment to be captured in art. So yeah, if you've got any art that you want to send us through, you can tweet it at us at Archives Lost, and I'll make sure I credit you properly. I promise. But that's it from me. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you all again next Tuesday for more Avatar Legends RPG, and next Wednesday for more Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Stay safe, stay well, and see you all again next time. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
See everybody.
Bye.